Today, we talking mullets. The mullet vibe is not just a haircut, it's a way of life. Get out the way, posers. Try and pick up what I'm putting down. M-U-L-L-E-T. Vibes.
My day was usual business. I walked with hair full of stress. Some would say that this was getting burned out. As I sipped upon my coffee, an epiphany dawned on me. I would find my career. Cause when it's business in the front and party in the back, you know you're gonna be okay. Cause the boss is on your ass, waiting for the weekend, can't see the light of day.
It's the Mullet Man.
Yeah, it's the Mullet Man. Yeah, it's the Mullet Man. Whoa, it's the Mullet Man.
Vibes.
The mullet seemed to call me, so I took a trip to go see just what kind of man I could become. So I went into the barber, my words couldn't have hit harder, and then the deed was done. Cause when it's business in the front and party in the back, you know you're gonna be okay. Cause the boss is on your ass, waiting for the weekend, can't see the light of day.
It's the Mullet Man.
Yeah, it's the Mullet Man. Yeah, it's the Mullet Man. Whoa, it's the Mullet Man.
Vibes.
As the mullet changed me, I noticed my power growing exponentially. So I used this power for good, as I knew I should, but I still can't get a date.
And finally, filling the quota is something I could finally see.
Wait, what do you mean, quota?
Today, we pay homage to the streamer's salty snack of choice, and the capo who's brave enough to defend their honor. Sit back and listen for a while, friends. You're in for one hell of a salty surprise. Sometimes streaming requires a meal, but the chat won't let you enjoy your snack. Unrelenting in that mockery, you fire back with words of wisdom and attack. Shut up! Let me munch my nuts. Shut up! Let me munch my nuts. Shut up! Let me munch my nuts. Yeah! sodium's getting high, and vitamin B12. You're getting nourishment from the nuts variety that you delve. You may think of dirty jokes, all your 69 tropes, but Capo continues lunch. He continues to munch. You didn't turn your back on them, although they're making your mouth dry. You'll never go hungry again until your death counts 60 high. Shut up! Let me munch my nuts. Shut up! Let me munch my nuts. Shut up! Let me munch my nuts.
Damn your rotating cube! Ah!
Shut up! Let me munch my nuts. 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 Shut up! Let me munch my nuts.
Yeah! That was a fucking jam!
Hey, you! Can't handle the heat? Well, neither can I. This is my story. How I became known as the one and only
Mega Melt, 'cause the whole damn world is frying. Mega Melt, my brain is liquefying. Mega Melt, they want me to stay hydrated. Mega Melt, but I ended up melting instead. The temperature rises higher. My body consumed by the fire. Disco Inferno drives me insane as the melt become my brain. Mega Melt, 'cause the whole damn world is frying. Mega Melt, my brain is liquefying. Mega Melt, they want me to stay hydrated. Mega Melt, but I ended up melting instead. My fan does not have any AC. Why you blow harder on me? Capo seems to be chill AF. How the hell is he not in distress? Mega Melt, 'cause the whole damn world is frying. Mega Melt, my brain is liquefying. Mega Melt, they want me to stay hydrated. Mega Melt, but I ended up melting instead. Mega Melt.
And fairy dust where we lay our scene. Our hero lusts after a dragon-esque queen. He's neither vegan nor vegetarian. The people call him the phallic barbarian. And while his great powers cannot be ignored, well, they're not contingent on his ability to brandish his sword. And so he embarks on the most thrilling quest to solve quite a big problem, it must be confessed. But that's not all as it seems. In fact, it's beyond his wildest dreams. He expects to be met with a cure for his dick, but lo and behold, he finds out it's a trick. In the mountains, our hero is far from lonely. In fact, he's crossed paths with the one and only Love Guru. The Love Guru possesses a mystical power to have our hero fighting fit within the hour.
There's probably a joke with a penis right there.
And so our hero continues on his way, returns to his homeland merry and gay. He returns to his parents after they've been away, and they confess they thought that they'd never see the day where their son, who has certainly has been around, finally finds love and settles down. The news of their union resounds through the town. Here's him in his suit and her in her gown. In fairy dust where we lay our scene, our hero is married his dragon-esque queen, and the whole world is certain now and then. We're glad our barbarian is phallic again.
Hello, everybody! We are returning. It's D&D again. That game that I can't remember how to play. How is everybody? How's it all going? How is the party? Did you bring your brown pants today?
Already wearing them.
Always.
I tried to find something beige, but I ended up with jeans.
But of course, this is the Ebon Death campaign, and a campaign that I've been too busy IRL and exhausted for to continue. So now that we're back, I don't really remember what happened last time. Luckily, I'm with my illustrious party of D&D players that should hopefully remember exactly what happened last time. So who wants to give us the rundown explanation?
There was a church.
I don't think there was a church, no.
There was mention of a church.
And then we went the other way.
You did. You most certainly did.
We went to sleep and there was scary stuff, and apparently time might have passed differently while we were asleep. But maybe not.
Also a possibility.
We never really asked.
We found a gateway out of the town, then hopped back in. Because it was like cut off, like it's like a dimension space kind of thing going on, or like an illusion or something. I can't decide which one.
It was definitely something.
Yeah. Then, basically, long story short, went into like this big old banner and found a really cool shirt.
There was a shirt, yeah. Yeah,
And I
definitely.
decided to
really
put it on
cool
immediately. And now all I can think of is having a three-course meal every day, and talking about how gangster everyone's cooking is.
I
Yeah,
can sum it up in 3 words.
Oh, please.
Gershaw fucked up.
I really thought you were gonna say I wasn't there then.
That's also
correct.
Also true.
I feel like these two things somehow correlate to each other.
Look, on the bright side, if he fucks up tonight, you can just go bum.
I do believe there was also a poll at the end of last stream as to whether or not the time that Gershaw had with that curse that would end with him fully transforming into a thrall of Count Fieri, as whether or not it was going to be real life time or in-game time. Luckily, it was in-game time, because in real life time, we've already passed that deadline, because we took 2 weeks off.
Last week.
That would have been totally unfair. Just on the record, you know.
No.
Yeah, it would have. It definitely wouldn't have been
You
fair.
fucked up
It
pretty
would have been
bad.
hilarious. Yeah.
I have a question which I thought I could ask before,
Yeah.
but I thought maybe might be interest of like people watching as well. Does Gersha know that he fucked up and is now cursed?
No, Gershaw doesn't know anything. He now has full-blown amnesia, which is a side effect of the curse. So he doesn't
He
even
just
know
has
who
a
you
shirt.
Surprisingly similar
He
to the
just
beginning
finds
of the
himself
campaign.
stood in the lowest floor of the tower of Count Fieri, surrounded by 6 people that he doesn't know, and he doesn't know how he got there. He doesn't know who he is, and he doesn't know what's going on, and he does not know that the shirt has any link whatsoever to anything that's going on. He knows nothing right now.
Now frosted tips.
Yeah, now he has frosted tips as well.
I'd say this feels like a deja vu, but it would be not very sensitive towards Gersha to say that, so.
Whatever you say, I apparently don't remember who I am. So
If you just talk about Gershaw and mention Gershaw but not directly look at him, he won't know that you're talking about him. He doesn't know that he's Gershaw.
This is gonna be so much fun!
yes, fun. Lots of fun.
You're the twat who put the shirt on.
We're gonna have 2 weeks of
It's a
party.
cool shirt.
But since we're all here and we are returning to playing D&D, and that was a pretty good recap, everybody is getting inspiration.
Ooh,
I don't like
wait.
that.
Aside from Gershaw. Gershaw is not inspired. Gershaw doesn't know what inspiration is. Someone might have to explain the concept to Gershaw as to what being inspired is, and he might get his inspiration. Let me change the music over now and take us back to the tower. If I remember what I used for the tower, because I hadn't planned it, this should be the right music.
Oh, Briggy, can you send me my stat block? All I remember is I got 21 AC.
You know what? I would. but I don't remember it, and I also didn't have it loaded up at the, before tonight. So
You're not really gonna need it. You don't know what you can do.
It's all RP for you.
I can do what I can do. It just changes a couple other bits to turn my AC.
It's all role playing for
punching
now.
stuff.
I'm loading the page up for it now.
Inspiration.
I wish you'd reminded me of that before we started streaming, so I didn't have to go find it now.
Oh, I forgot.
Alright, it's a mixture of, I homebrewed it from 2 items. So the things that have affected you. First off, you're slowly transforming into the very image of Count Fieri. Which we already remembered. You have suffered from amnesia and you've lost all your memories. You have a natural armor class of 18 plus your dexterity modifier. You gain +2 to constitution and +2 to strength. You got an extra 2 hit points per level. Your carrying capacity is doubled. You no longer need to eat, drink, or breathe. You don't need sleep. And you are immune to any effect or spell that would alter your form in any way, as you slowly transform into Guy Fieri himself.
What was the one that has? So 2+ to con and strength, and then +2 for every level?
Yeah,
HP?
+2. Yeah, so 22 extra
So I get-
HP. No, that's... Yeah, because you're level 11, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And you're also doomed to be damned and bound for eternity, which is the whole slowly transforming into Count Fieri, which will eventually turn you into a thrall, and you'll no longer have a will of your own. So there's your downside to the cursed object.
Fantastic.
It's so funny.
And the object cannot be removed, so when it is worn, it tightens and cannot be removed. It's seemingly fusing itself with your skin. There is a very specific way to remove it, but you wouldn't know that. None of you would know that. Over the course of the next, originally it was 6 days, but we turned it into, it was 14 days, wasn't it, in-game?
Yes.
So 14 in-game days. The target, wearing the shirt, begins to have strange dreams of torture, suffering, and gravy. Once these dreams begin, you will slowly begin to morph into Guy Fieri, including popped collar and all, and gain weight. And once per day at dawn, the target must make a Constitution saving throw. And there are things that will happen on a pass or a fail. And that is the curse of Count Fieri.
Huh. Huh.
Are we all caught up now?
Vote to just time skip to the next 14 mornings just to see what happened.
No.
So see you next week, yeah? Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you
This
next
was fun.
Wednesday.
Oh.
Have you written all that
That's all I
down
can
now?
do. I've only written down the positives. I know the negatives. Just you gotta remind me of the saving throw. That's all.
Of course. Now what happened to Sirenscape? It seems to have gone all quiet.
But can I still use all my normal abilities as the thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, if you remember that you can.
Okay, cool. That's all I can say.
I don't know why Sirenscape is being so awkward. There we go. Now we have sound. Alright, and with that reminder, we are back on the ground floor of the Count's Tower in the center of Flaverton. Before you is a large spiral staircase which Gershaw has attempted to walk up and failed miraculously at prior to wearing the shirt. So Gershaw does not remember this. And now he has found a black shirt emblazoned with a flame motif, and his hair has begun to stand on end and become frosted as the rest of the party looks on. And in the distance you hear the voice of, presumably, Count Fieri himself, chuckling at you, saying, "I can't believe he did it." And that brings us to today.
Is something smelling fresh, or is it just me? Oh yeah, they're staying frosty, just like the tips.
I walk up to Gershaw and put on like the friendliest and most concerned look on my face that I possibly can, and I say, "Hey you, you're finally awake?"
Yeah.
You were trying to cross the border, right? Oh man, walked right into that Fieri ambush, same as us, and that rogue over there. And I nod my head at M. Damn Flavorton.
God damn. I was trying to ride it right in on here, right in front of, with the wonderful weenie wagon, and I just...
This thing died.
Oh, what is happening? Can
Right
not
up my
handle
driveway.
this pole of Count Fieri.
Holy moly, stromboli.
I've got 0 drop frames.
Oh my god. I pull out one of my spicy berries from my pouch and I was like, "Oh, you called for a holy moly stromboli?" And I offer the spicy berry on a platter.
I have no idea what this is,
It's a bit hot.
but it's gonna be a flavor sensation, I can tell. I consume the berry. Where are the cameras?
I open up my wrist layer head and just have it like open and close rhythmically.
Alright, here we go, guys. I'm gonna try this lovely spicy berry I've been given by this strange bird person. But it's time we eat, and it's time to the oregano, the cayenne. There's something else in there.
It's a signature blend of 72 herbs and spices.
Was that the
man.
was that the
It's
spicy
hot.
berry?
It was.
It was. Okay, Gershaw, roll a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
What did you put in this, man?
I don't even know. I just threw spices on it. I thought that's how cooks did things.
Dude.
Here, have a chaser, and I give him a regular good berry. This one's zesty.
I want it.
I just want to point out as well that even though you are slowly transforming into Count Fieri, you have gained no actual knowledge of like the culinary arts.
Right. I think it's that now. 14.
14. You're gonna take you're gonna take 2 fire damage from the spicy
And the good berry will heal up one of those.
It will. So you're gonna take 1 damage overall. But it's I don't know if you've actually gone back yet. Actually, I think everyone had stopped being red at this point, hadn't they? But now Gershaw is back to being bright red.
Oh damn! I'm looking straight gangster.
I thought the flames match your shirt. It's a good look.
Oh dude, I need to get you as my new stylist.
Yeah, the name's Shenreed. You can call me. I can't do all that.
I'm gonna call you Styling Eagle. Okay.
You can call me for short.
I can't do it, man. I'm sorry. Cooking is my only gift. So, yeah. Like, I don't want to come across as arrogant, but do you have any idea who I am?
Your name is Gershonius Stromboli II.
Gershonius. Huh.
That's the run.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think. Gershonius. Yeah. Alright.
We like to call you Mr. Stromboli for short. It's our nickname.
Can I just go by Stroms?
How about Strombo?
Strombo? Yeah, I can go by Strombo.
It's because you're Strom. And you're Bow.
I don't know what a bow is, but I sure as hell am Strom.
I point to your backpack. You got a bow in there.
Huh.
His items are not. His items have been like.
No, he dropped everything.
He dropped everything.
All of
Yeah, are
his
they on the
items,
floor around him?
all of his everything that he was carrying is sort of scattered around him like the rings in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, then I point to the floor.
And
point his
he
bow
can't
out.
pick any of them back up again. He has 0 inventory and 0 physical space.
Guys, I see they have a problem here. See, now I would pick up all this stuff, but I'm a bit of a big deal, so I'm gonna need a road crew. I have no idea who any of you are.
You said you need a rogue.
A rogue crew? Yeah, that works. You got the job.
Can I steal Strombo stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Do I need to
Yeah.
roll?
No. Not
I'm
unless someone
watching
points
this.
out it. Like, he doesn't know that it's his.
Awesome. Well, it's mine then. Thanks, Mr. Strombo. You're the best. Peace, love, and taco grease to you.
Taco grease to you too.
I guess that means just transfer, like, just anything that's currently on Gershon's character sheet is now in your inventory.
Cloak of Protection, Scimitar +1, arrows, indefinite amount at this point, dart,
Let's talk cash.
longbow. I have 222 gold.
You had 222 gold.
0 gold. And that's it.
Okay. You can keep the longbow, Mr. Strombo.
He
But
can't.
You wouldn't be Strombo. Oh,
I
you
mean,
can.
he can't carry it.
Can he hold anything in his hands or just the?
No, he
frying pan?
can't.
He picks it up and
Try it. Try it. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I don't know if it's a good idea. I mean, I am sort of a culinary royalty at this point. I don't tend to pick up my own stuff. But let's try it. I'll pick up the what do you call it?
Bow.
Bow. Thank you.
It's the Strombo longbow.
As you reach for the Strombo longbow, you find that your hands feel much like butter, and every time you attempt to grip the bow to lift it, it just slips out of your hand immediately, returning to the ground.
Oops, looks like I've been eating too much butterscotch.
In the distance behind you up the stairs, you hear the very, very low, very distant, constant chuckling and cackling of an unknown voice. Seems to be amused by the shenanigans happening down here.
Is that a fan?
Maybe we should get out of this place.
Not you, that orchard. No!
I mean, who are you? You look pretty rad, man. Where'd you get all that stuff sorted out? You know, like, those piercings, or just like start grabbing the horns?
Are they greasy now?
Does he like slip all over the place now as well because I tried to grab him?
I respectfully, I'm just perplexed. I don't even.
Are you my new manager?
Yes, I am. And as your manager, I'm telling you, we need to get out of this building. This building has been completed.
We need to get out and go to the church.
Yeah,
Yes,
we made a wrong
need to
turn.
pray for Jesus because, well,
Well, we got a bit of a culinary engagement at the church, so it seems.
They said there was going to be a tasting session, right, with the stuff for the school.
But did they make enough for me?
I think they're making.
Considering it's
just
called the
for you.
Church of Gluttons, I'm pretty sure they made enough for everyone, and then
Okay.
probably more than that.
Last time I went to a school tasting, I accidentally ate everything.
Including the school.
No comment. I'll refer any sort of backlash or commentary to my manager.
I look over to Caporius. Did he eat the school?
we sure fucking did.
Should we, guys, can we have a moment, just us?
Okay.
Jumbo, can you give us a moment, dude?
Sure thing.
No wandering off though, as your manager. No wandering.
Okay.
This is a secret film crew meeting, so.
Oh, I got you. The boring stuff. Got it.
And some people are just born to cook and talk. So, give us a second. He's an art case, and I'm the one saying it. What do we do?
Rashid, do you have any spells that may bring some of his memory back?
Oh, absolutely, but not right now.
But you won a cooking contest.
It's true, but I have to sleep first. Berries don't come immediately; they have to grow.
Can we please?
I actually do, Solgrab, but we're not talking about cheap spells here.
Are they worth?
Well, I believe that I could bring back most, if not all, of his memory, but again, we're talking about components worth about 300 gold pieces here.
Damn, I wish I had that.
Absolutely.
I picked chaotic neutral as a thing, so sorry, it's my character, not me in person. In person, I would absolutely give you all the money. No, I wouldn't.
Is that our first instance of it's what my character would do?
Yep.
It's what me as a person would do in life, which is scary.
So I can plant some berries, but it'll take a day to grow them. And in the meantime, we can enjoy Strombo.
Well,
I'm not particularly enjoying.
While the party is chatting without Gershaw nearby, as he does his best not to wander off. Gershaw,
Strombo, not Gershaw.
Gershaw / Strombo. If you, as you sort of idly gaze around this foyer, you spot, sort of in the distance and off to the corner, a little side table, with a little wooden box on it.
I swear to God, the Gershaw.
What have we learned about boxes?
Now, I don't know.
While you're looking at the box from a distance, it opens as if by itself, creaking slowly, revealing a glistening light from a distance. Something shines within this box.
I mean, I can't pick anything up. Like
Looking
butterscotch.
As you contemplate butterscotch and its actual lack of any actual butter content, therefore making it not butter, you
Nice.
you continue to sort of just stare idly at this open box as the rest of the party chats behind you, without you, and you start to get a better glimpse of what's in this box, even at this distance. You can just kind of make out 3 rings laid side by side. And on the rings, you can't make out what they say, but it looks as if there's a word written on each.
I look over to see how the party meeting's getting on.
I mean, we were meeting.
Yeah, so like if you can wait a day, you know, I'll have these berries ready.
But we don't know how time works.
Well, that's really metaphorical, honestly.
Is it a day in this town or a day in your tummy? And then.
Oh, I mean, we shouldn't make any claims about where good berries come from.
Just for the sake of some clarification there, you can do it on a long rest, so it's whenever a long rest would take place, which doesn't always mean the next day, or it doesn't always mean, like, being asleep. It just means whenever you get a long rest. It's just that you usually sleep when you have a long rest.
Oh, okay. Well, then yes, we have to wait for the in-game translation equivalent of a long rest.
Essentially that's a long rest is any uninterrupted period of 8 hours where you're not in combat, not doing really anything, and just kind of relaxing.
In that case, we need to go to the church to find out if there's any way that we can resolve this.
Gershaw Strombo, as you take your eyes off of the box to look at the party, and then return to looking in its direction as you feel a pull. You see that there's actually 6 rings in this box, each glistening with jeweled letters, although you can't, at this distance, make out what any of the words on them say.
Sort of like squint and like look closer.
You can make out the closest ring to you, just barely managing to make sense of the lettering from the seemingly diamond-encrusted lettering across them. This one happens to say, diners.
I have a faint recollection of that word. Diners.
I started creeping closer. Just like
I smell grease.
The scent of grease grows stronger in the air as you close in. And you can now make out the second ring next to the first says drive-ins.
I'm getting hungry.
Takes another step closer to read the final ring.
It's not the final, there's 6 in there, not 3.
Oh.
So the third ring you can see reads dives.
Has any one of us noticed that he's moved yet?
Roll a perception check, Solgra. Just Solgra, because you asked. Everyone else is still engaged in conversation as to what to do next.
Well, we are all mentioned. Like, I have something that can, like, worst case, come to it. Like, that could probably bring him back to full. But again, it will have to be at a financial, like, agreement, let's say. I can't exactly go. Well, I can't. I don't have the funds to go throwing these around willy-nilly, as it were.
Do you have the materials for it already? If not, we can do it for free again. Once I've rested up a bit.
Unfortunately, you have not noticed that Stromboli is still walking away from the party.
I do have the materials, or I have the materials to do it once. Kind of an emergency ration, if you will.
How much?
300 gold.
Gershel Strombo, you have now reached the table with the rings. Looking down, you can see what the other three finally say. So you've got 3 rings that look to be a pair of a set that say diners, drive-ins, and dives. Looks like it's meant to go across one hand. The other 3 simply read, born to cook.
Oh, damn. Someone knew I was coming. But sadly, I went through all of my margarine. My snack margarine on the way here. Trying to cut down on the calories.
The rings begin to shapeshift in front of you, seemingly becoming the perfect size for your fingers as they are now.
Oh, damn. I'm moving away from this. This is creepy stuff.
The bottom of the container with the rings begins to slowly fill bottom up with a thick gravy.
Oh, no. I mean, as I went through all my snack margarine, gravy is looking good. I must fight temptation. I must keep my physique in peak condition for the cameras.
You didn't notice it before, you're not sure how you missed it, but around the box on this table lies a copious amount of barbecued and deep-fried foods. Stacks and stacks of chicken and brisket and ribs.
You know what? This would make a great scene. Hey! Hey, camera guy!
I pull a Zombo head.
Freedom Eagle!
Yes,
What are you doing?
Julius.
As the rest of the party turns to look in Strombo's direction, you can see that he's currently stood next to a dark-robed figure.
Zombo or Strombo?
Strombo, Gershel.
Okay.
Check out this stuff. There's gravy, and there's brisket, and there's barbecue.
Do you want to come back over here, maybe?
Who's your amigo?
It's just me. I'm the star of this show. That's how
I think
it goes.
you're haunted. I think you might be haunted by ghost gravy.
Ghost gravy? That's just a myth. You can't go scaring the viewers like that. There's one time.
No. We all see it right beside you.
Okay.
As the rest of you look on, you see the robed figure seemingly vanish in a puff of smoke. And Gershel, if you were to turn back to looking at the table, you'd see that nothing now resides where there was once the rings and the food.
Gone. Guys, who moved the set?
I would like to approach Stromboli and drag him by the scruff of the neck.
Hey, watch it. Whoa.
She's saving you from ghost gravy.
Cameras. Okay, fair play. That is... I get it. It's a risk assessment thing. You gotta do your job. I respect that.
Trust your security guards.
Yeah,
They know what they're
this
doing.
can go in the bloopers.
Fine. I'm just gonna follow instruction. Sorry I wandered off like that. I was just trying to find the next dive-in.
I think it's at the church. I think we agreed that we're gonna go to the church, and there's gonna be a banquet there or something.
Can we call the episode "Snacking with Jesus"?
You can say,
Who's
yeah,
Jesus?
yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'm not a religious guy either. I'm just straight gangster with a spiritual side. And I was introduced once as the spiritual gangster, and I just had to have that line. This is how it is.
Is that kind of like Legion or something?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I didn't know Legion had gravy.
I mean, now I know who Legion is. I mean, he's got gravy, and I support that.
I'm sure he has gravy. Church?
Church.
Gravy church, yeah. Go.
So as the party is walking out of the front doors now of Count Fieri's tower / mansion, just as Gershaw is about to step over the threshold, you hear in your mind, just Gershaw alone, no one else, you hear the following.
The Birdman. Doesn't he look tasty? Imagine him deep fried.
Thank you, executive producer. I'll keep that in mind.
You should eat him.
I don't know. He seems like he's doing a good job so far. If he drops the ball, maybe.
He's doing a terrible job. Did you not know he's taken away your pay? He won't let you eat. The ratings are down because of him. The only thing to do is to feast.
I don't know about that.
Harden of food.
I mean, have you got any more snack margarine? Be a shame to eat one of the...
The Birdman is full of snack margarine. He's playing with snack margarine.
God damn. Hey,
I promise you a feast of like which you never tasted before if you were to eat the Birdman.
Oh man, all my culinary senses are tingling.
Yes.
Do the rest of us hear Gershaw? Do we hear him talking out loud, or is it all in his head?
You hear him talking out loud.
Shame.
But you're only hearing one half of that conversation.
Okay. I look over and I start passing Gershaw good berries one by one.
Although he is providing you with sustenance, so I'm sorry, executive producer. I'm gonna... As tempting as that offer sounds, I'm gonna hold off for now.
You're gonna eat him or you're fired. We'll cancel the show.
You can't fire me. I am huge.
You will be. You will be.
And with that, you hear nothing else.
Alright, give me some more of that vegan stuff.
You know, these are miracle diet pills. They actually feed you for an entire day. One berry equals one entire meal.
Oh, god damn. Well, give me 3.
You already got 3.
More. Sorry.
I'll give you 3 more. 3 square berries a day. That's what your dietitian recommended for you. You gotta start slimming down from that ghost gravy. It goes to your hips.
Hey, I told you it was one time.
And we're still dealing with the consequences from that one time to this day.
The sounds in that bathroom the day after. Oh my god.
We know. We were there. We were handing you rolls upon rolls of tissues. We had a supply chain all directed to the one stall.
Can we please
drained half of our supply costs.
Yeah, dude, you should give us some money back for that.
So this conversation continues as all of you are walking towards what you believe the church to be. Alright, you find yourself now back at the crossroads with... on your left is the tavern, the Incompetent Butcher. Directly in front of you, which would be the south direction, you see, just off to a distance, some trees partially blocking the spire. You see what you now recognize to be the Church of the Glutton, if what the locals have told you is to believe that is the name of the church. You
All
haven't
right,
seen
now.
anybody else in quite a
Oh,
while.
sorry.
Sorry, I was filling some space there because I didn't know you were about to speak. Go for it.
Mr. Strombo. Now, as your team, we have to warn you that you should be very careful about what you eat. Okay, we got a very strict deadline. You got a lot of things to cater, so only eat what the big lady approves of you to eat. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Now, I think this church is going to be filled with temptation. All right, as all churches are. I think. I don't know. I'm a bird, but just only eat what the big lady says to.
Gershon, you're feeling absolutely famished.
I could really eat right now, dude.
Are the berries not cutting it?
No. I mean, I could eat more. It just depends on how much more is.
All right, I'm gonna toss you one more. How you feeling now?
You somehow feel hungrier.
Yeah. This is... I don't know. I'm sticking to like a diet of just like pure fitness. Yeah.
All right, I think we'll get some of this margarine as quickly as possible.
Wait, you have snack margarine? Yeah. I need some of that like immediately. Really good.
I have a cask of wild water, which you said could taste like anything.
It can taste like anything.
Can I give him like a little vial of imitation snack margarine?
You could.
Okay, I'm gonna pour one vial.
It will still be water. It won't change in its like viscosity or anything. It won't
Right. But it'll taste like margarine,
it'll taste
right?
like margarine, yeah.
That's even worse.
So I get one of my empty vials out, and I hand it to Gershaw with this watery margarine, and I tell him that this is diet snack margarine.
As you make the decision to create this vial, as you are mentally giving it the instruction of what to taste like, the water doesn't change in its texture or viscosity. It just simply looks a very unpleasant shade of yellow.
What was that word you used? Diet.
It's light. Think of it as light. You know, we gotta spread the margarine thin. We only have so much. You know, we're in a desolate town. We don't got much stock. If you want it to last for the rest of the week, we gotta skim the purity a bit.
Dude, that's no bueno. But margarine is margarine. I gotta take what I gotta take. Give me the stuff, man.
And I pass him the vial.
Snack margarine.
Yes. Snack margarine 0.
Same great
Alright, so I
margarine
pass the
taste,
vial
0
over.
calories.
That's got the flavor all right.
It does
Good.
absolutely nothing to sate your hunger. You still remain famished.
Indeed.
But you can confirm it tastes exactly like the snack margarine you were expecting. Whatever that is.
Like literally just imagine a tub of margarine and just slamming your hand into it and just like shoving it in your face.
That is unfortunately what I was assuming, but it doesn't make it any better.
I assumed the worst and hoped to be pleasantly surprised, but I was not.
Nope. Sometimes you hate being right.
Yeah, I'm still hungry, man.
I'll presume that while Gershon's still hungry, you've reached the front of the church now. So, looking upon the church, you can see that this is a very, very old stone building. The stones are actually cut rather large. This church is a lot bigger up close than what it appeared to be from a distance. It's not quite the size of a cathedral, but you nonetheless, it's a bit of a shock when you approach it. You, again, continue to notice that there are no other people around. This entire journey, as you've walked from the Count's Tower past the tavern all the way to the Church of the Glutton, you haven't encountered another single living soul. Whether or not they were staying away from Stromboli there, or what, but there's not a single person around. The door to the church is a large wooden double door. It looks to be nearly 2 stories tall, all in all, and looks as if it could be opened with a little bit of effort. It appears from a quick check of the hinges that it does open inward. Nothing appears to be barring your entry.
I would like to go first, and I would like to ask M to accompany with me.
What do you want me to do?
I would like you to stand behind me as I open this door.
Are you sure? You don't need protection? I'll stand behind
I'm
you.
thinking more or less like if if something comes for me, you're there with the pew-pews.
Okay, I was gonna offer for protecting you and be brave and be first, but you wanna do that, so that is also fine by me. Go ahead.
Before you guys walk in, I'm just gonna do a quick little spell on M and bless the next 12 of your arrow shots.
What does that do?
So you do an extra 1d6 fire damage per hit.
Yeah, boy.
I just realized something. It's not at all like very important, but I am still camouflaged in a very posh gentleman Balthazar from last session. Really forgot about that, but that is actually still going on.
Gentleman
and
Balthazar is my favorite.
I will be keeping that up until further notice.
It reminds me of the old Mario movie with the Mario brothers. His first name is Mario, his last name is Mario. It's Balthazar.
Sure, ready.
Alright, so pushing open the large door.
Is this the church? Yeah.
Yes.
Mike, it didn't hit that. I said sorry.
I think it's open now.
Okay.
Looking into the church as the light from outside seems to illuminate almost the entire church in a very artificial way that doesn't seem possible were it to be natural sunlight. You can get a good view of the entire sort of entryway and then past the inner doors into the church proper. It looks very run down and disused. The pews seem to be in various states of disrepair. Some of them entirely collapsed in on themselves from years, possibly decades, of neglect. At the very end of the church stands a dais, and behind that dais stands a large obsidian statue. The statue appears to depict a creature of which you're unfamiliar. It looks large and grotesque. It seems to be made up of multiple mounds of flesh stuck together in ways that seem illogical, impossible, maybe. You see at the very base of this statue of this creature is a huge gaping maw and a large tongue. The statue seems to depict whatever this creature is consuming a man.
Now that is an artisanal hog roast.
I wanna talk to Solgra.
Yes, Em?
Okay, we weren't that keen on him before.
not sure there's a feast for him to taste right now here. This place is scary.
I'm just having.
Should we just leave him here?
I'm going to ignore that last statement, and I'm going to approach Caporius, and I'm going to give him the 300 gold.
Thank you.
And just say, do what you need to do. I don't know how much more of this I can take.
We may need to check that the church is actually empty or go outside again just to be sure. To make sure we're not surprised in the middle of it, I suppose. But I will do what is needed. Also, let me write that down real quick.
Maybe we should check out the church first.
Like, even if the main room is, you know, there's no shit hanging from the ceiling. Little things like that.
Quickly looks up.
Ceiling check. Are you actually doing a ceiling check?
Yes. Oh, yes.
You are, okay. So,
Oh, yes.
as you step into the church and look up, you can see clearly there's nothing obstructing your view of the entire ceiling of the church. Some parts of it appear to be in the same sort of level of disrepair as the rest of the church that you see. So parts of it have sort of crumbled away. There are anywhere from like small holes to pretty large holes in places that have crumbled inwards. What's most disconcerting is as you step through a few more steps into the church to get a better look, the light appears to move with you, almost as if illuminating a path for you.
Is there any windows or anything like that? Can I see a source of the light?
There's no obvious source of the light for the way that it's shining on you. On both your left and right, and at the very end, there are a total of 4 stained glass windows, 2 on either side and 1 at the end. All 5 of them depicting various aberrations and monstrous creatures, all apparently feasting on creatures. And the last one at the very end, behind the statue, depicts a similar looking creature consuming what appears to be a humanoid.
That's not unsettling at all. Okay.
I think we should be concerned about Stromboli over there's hunger. We should probably leave here, do the thing, and then come back.
I have no problems with that suggestion.
We have Caporius in the church.
Just walked in.
And Solgra stood just through the main doorway. And the rest of you outside, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure I know where everyone is.
Aggressively puts tokens on the battle map.
Also, Brigga, I sent you a message.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. No urgent.
Well, if we're gonna try and bring him back, like let's do it outside. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Or as much as it's gonna bring him back anyway, but let's do it. Stromboli, come with me. Good friend, mate, buddy of mine. Come on outside.
As you turn, Caporius, to walk towards the door, behind you, a noise can be heard. Where are Solgra and Em looking? Were you guys looking into or out of the church at that point?
I'm assuming in, since we opened the door.
And I was assuming out because I was looking at Caporius.
So Em will be the only one that sees this behind Caporius. Currently disguised as Balthazar, is a
Yes.
a figure standing almost twice the height of Caporius.
Which is like 5 times me.
Yeah. A large figure in a robe. The robe is a long black robe that has a hood that covers this figure's face. You don't get much time to see, but you do have just enough time to realize that the robe actually has a gold trim.
Okay, I'm listening, but I need to close the curtains or the bugs get in. Sorry, I just realized I don't want it to be like yesterday. Is it the same figure that we saw in the tower? No. Is it bigger?
A lot bigger. Again, it's twice. It stands twice the height of Caporius.
Oh,
and
Caporius, is it bigger? But was the other one smaller then?
The other one was about the same height as Gershel.
I kind of want to shoot because I had the pew-pews ready for when Tolgra opened the door, but I'm not sure that's a good idea.
Caporius, you feel a massive hand on your shoulder. And
I'm gonna shoot.
Booming voice says, "Welcome, brother. Take a seat."
I'm not gonna shoot. I'm just gonna look at the figure with the things and be like, bruh. Big boy.
I am not gonna move for a moment.
You feel the other hand come down on your other shoulder. He's now stood looking at the rest of the party as he's got his hands on your shoulder now.
That's some sort of Slenderman thing.
And again, the booming voice just now, like, appear from like above you. This voice is just raining down on you. It's just like, "Don't struggle, brother. Join us. Please, sit."
I sit down.
The bravery there is remarkable.
Right where I'm standing. I don't fucking care if there's no chair. I sit down.
The figure lets out a thunderous, booming laugh and says, No, brother. On the seat."
This is my seat. It's the ground.
Balthazar likes the floor, Mr. Big Man.
He says, "Very well." And he looks to the rest of the party and says, "Will you also be joining us for today's mass?"
Yeah, for sure. We just need to quickly bring our friend Dragon Man to the toilet. He sits on the floor when he has to go poopy. So we need to take him out first, and then we'll come back right away.
I have prestidigitation, right?
Yes, ideas.
And the figure responds, "Nonsense! Mass is about to start. Please enter and take a cert." The mass what?
The mass what?
And he says, "Take a seat, and all shall become clear."
There's going to be a
I believe a mass is about to form down someone's hand leg.
Seating, where a lot of people sit down. Is that what you do in this world?
He says, "Please, I can't continue this conversation from the doorway. It would be disrespectful for you not to join us at this juncture."
I sit down on the doorway.
I sit down where I'm at as well.
I do handstand sit down thing.
Hey, with this mass.
I forgot about Strombo.
Will there be food, brother?
So where are you guys sat now? So Emma's sat in the entryway.
Yeah, just in like.
Rita's sat outside.
Yep.
And Capo's sat inside. So Fanny Boss is sat outside as well.
But upside down.
Oh, okay. Outside but upside down. Strombo hasn't sat down, and Solgro, are you sitting there? Whereabouts? You're still in the entryway looking outwards, but I'm guessing you now turn at least to look at this figure.
Yeah, I just kind of look at everyone sat on the floor and then go and sit in one of the pews.
Alright, and Strombo, what are you doing?
I'm asking. I mean, I heard you say brother, and I respect that, brother.
Of
He's gonna fucking die.
Please, enter and take a pew.
Do you have any food?
There will be sustenance.
Oh, good. I just take a seat immediately.
He didn't say food, Strumble. He
So
said
is
sustenance.
everyone sat where they're choosing to sit now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, the giant figure walks to the front of the church and stands upon the dais. And as he stands upon the dais, he raises his hand and the door of the church closes.
No, no.
I wave at Shareed and Stunks or Fanny
Because
Boss.
this door, I'm not gonna be able to keep it open.
No, the door slams closed. This giant 2-story wooden double door is now behind you.
Behind?
Yeah, you're sat in the entryway. You're inside. That's where you and Zolgra were. The only two outside now are Fanny Boss and Shareed now looking at a closed door.
Okay.
Brother,
Paquerino.
that's my camera crew.
And the figure ignores you as 2 more figures matching the height of the first enter into this main chamber of the church from a side room on either side.
He's gonna like kind of awkwardly lurk up. Continue.
Are we still live?
Oh.
We not?
It says I'm still live, but I don't know.
I can still see you live.
Yeah.
It's a bit
It's
slow.
a bit flaky. Yeah.
Yeah. I just noticed that when I was changing the tab, like everything kind of went a bit weird. Give it a second before I start doing the next bit of exposition and dialogue.
Fair.
In that case, I'm just gonna like turn around to and Caparius and go, "Get over here now!"
You told me to sit.
You will be sitting again.
Okay, I'm gonna shuffle over on the floor.
Yeah, same.
And I'm gonna literally drag my ass up the chair. I'm not actually gonna stop sitting at any point throughout.
As the 2 of these giant figures approach the central dais, you can see both of them are carrying large candles that are currently lit. The candles look to be, I mean, just from the guess of what you've seen of this one figure at least, and the size of it, you have to imagine that these candles are more the size of tree trunks, and the flame atop of them burns more like a torch as they slowly step out and join this central figure. And that is when the 2 of them begin chanting, and the one in the center begins to speak in words that you don't entirely comprehend. It seems to be an ancient language, or perhaps just a language that none of you know. I think some of you may have certain language skills. At best, some of you might recognize the words, but what you don't understand is that none of them are said in an order that makes sense. What you do catch eventually are the words count, and then eventually at the end of the chant you hear a word that you don't fully understand, and I might make you roll for this in a minute, but you hear the word Sibriex.
The what?
Sibriex.
Sibriax.
Yeah. Can all of you inside the church that heard the word Sibriex do a give me a religion check?
Oh, I'm actually good at that. God
No.
bless.
Can I ask, does that
God
work
fucking no.
anything in English?
It's a 6 for me.
Oh, okay. Just checking if it was a word that I didn't know.
No, Sybrix
in
is
English
not
or just gibberish in
17.
It does
Fine.
Of course.
Oh, no, sorry, Gershel doesn't get to do a religion check. You have no memories.
True.
Oh man, these rolls are amazing.
I got a dirty one.
+4, you guys. Plus fucking 4. I cannot.
So what do we get?
6, 5, 1.
We got a 6, a 5, and a 1. Alright, so Caporius, you don't know for certain. You can't really ever know for certain without having some sort of reference material. There's nothing in your history that really speaks to you, but something about the way that this word Sybrix stands out to you, considering that you were able to understand parts of this chant and realize that the words were not in order, but you did recognize every single word. Sybrix stands out to you as a word that you've never heard before. And something about the reverence given to the word has you believing it's possibly related in some way, shape, or form to the statue that's stood behind the dais.
I'm gonna go. Excuse me? What are you massing?
And as the chanting stops, the central figure strides between the rows of pews and makes his way to the party. And as he crouches, he still stands about a head taller than both Caporius and Solgra, even if they were stood up now. And he
How
looks
much
down
more
at you.
than me?
Like at least 2 of you in his crouching position. But at this position, as he towers over you, you can now see clearly, well not clearly, but you can still see a lot better under the hood of this robe. And you can see, looking back at you, are 2 perfectly white eyes. No iris, no pupils, just white. The features of this creature appear to be chiseled, but plain. There are nothing that stands out to really significantly, make him look unique. You can make a guess that it is a masculine face, and you have absolutely no sense of any hair underneath that hood, and the figure appears to be clean shaven.
It's Soup Jesus. He found us.
Who's Jesus?
Oh, Soup Jesus.
He likes soup. And Jesus.
Guys, I don't know what that word was, but it sounds like some sort of like new spice that they're going to use on this artisanal hog roast.
Oh, Jesus.
Whatever it is, it's definitely new. I've never heard it before, and I am quite the religious historian, as you can tell by my +4.
The creature towering over you deigns to answer Caporius' question, and he says, again, this booming voice that echoes throughout the church, "We are here to maintain our purpose and duty to contain the Sybrix. One day, you too will be chosen."
Why not just let them go free?
You will understand in time.
What is the Sybrix?
Are we the roast to your Sunday?
In a manner of speaking, we are all the roasts to the Sybrix's Sunday. You speak in metaphors that I find unique and interesting. What do you do in the village?
Well, Sir Balthazar, I speak to people and make sure they are pleased in the name of the Count. Praise be the Count.
The Count. Yes, the Count. But the rest of you, what do you do?
They're my trainees. It's a busy job.
I accompany Mr. Balthazar.
He doesn't want people to know, but he's blind. I need to walk him around.
I'm tiny, just like a walking cane.
I gain.
The creature stands to its
With a
full
dumb
height
face.
and turns to the other two stood either side of the dais, and it barks a few words of a completely alien language to them, and they both place their hands on the candles and snuff out the flames.
Oh no!
The entire church falls into a pitch black darkness. You can't see each other despite being sat immediately next to each other. Moments later, within a
Can I
few
ask
seconds. Go on.
Very obnoxious question and ask about dark vision.
Dark vision is not effective in this darkness. It's for those of you that have dark vision and your inability to see, that's your first clue that this is beyond the normal.
Okay.
Moments later, a light appears immediately in front of you. It's almost blinding from the sudden darkness, and wreathing this giant figure in front of you, sort of pouring out of his robe now, are what look like giant blue fireflies as they begin to circle him, illuminating the church. You now see in your immediate vicinity that the inside of the church is in a much worse state than you were led to believe when you entered. The floors are absolutely caked in a substance that you'd rather not think about. The walls all seem to have a similar substance or coloration to them at this distance. You can't quite tell what it is, but there are patterns of splatter. One of the windows is entirely smashed. And looking in front of you, you now see the three giant figures stood before you. The central one kneels before the party again. And he says, "You came from outside, didn't you?"
What makes you think that?
Firstly, your speech patterns. You do not act like the residents of this town. How did you enter?
We walked.
Curious. None should have been able to accidentally or even forcefully enter the true Flaverton. You should have been suggested away from this particular region through magical influences. We have guarded this sanctum for 10,000 years. You are the first to have trespassed on this holy ground, and you may be the answer to its salvation.
10,000 years. You must be glad to have someone else to talk to.
Don't get me started. There are new villagers here every day, but they always share the same personality traits, the same jobs. I think it best if we continue this conversation in a more secure location.
Where would that be?
There is a basement sanctum to this church that, quite frankly, is more welcoming.
Listen, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Silence.
I love. Excuse me?
One of the two sort of attendants, the one on either side, closest to Gershaw, lifts Gershaw in the air and places a large, cold, stony hand over his mouth, silencing him.
Saves me from doing it. Can we get the rest of our friends?
We
friends
will
now.
make an attempt. And on the other side of the door where Sharid and Fanny Boss were, you see just very subtly within the door of the church, this huge wooden double door, you see what looks like a string of light appear, if only for a moment, and vanish again, looking as if it's outlining a much smaller door.
I go up and pull Fanny Boss and say, I think they remembered us now. I think we're allowed back in.
Okay. Well, let's go then.
Okay. So we walk to the small door.
Alright, it's not open. It's literally just it made a line on the door itself. What are you doing? What are you interacting with?
The door.
I'm just gonna push on the door.
So as Sharid reaches out and presses his palm against the area that was outlined, you immediately find yourself inside the church, stood next to the rest of the party, only illuminated by these blue fireflies. Fanny Boss, from your perspective, you saw Sharid vanish. Just poof, gone.
This mad prick just went.
What are you going to do?
I will do a couple backflips because I'm confused. Some coping mechanisms. And I'm going to touch the door.
As soon as you touch the area that was outlined anywhere in there, you also, poof, you vanish as far as the outside world is concerned, and you appear as if you were there all along next to Sharid and the others. And the one that's been speaking to you looks down at Solgrim and says, "Is this satisfactory?"
Yes.
And with that, he stands and begins to walk away from you towards the center of the church and heading back towards the dais. As he approaches it, you can see that the fireflies are expanding further outwards, giving you a little more detailing of this floor of the church. And you can see now that the statue that did appear when you were first in the church does not appear to be placed at all where it was. In its place stands a statue of a man, or at least you gather it's a man. It looks humanoid, no doubt, and it has vaguely human features. It's missing any telltale signs of any of the other races, so it looks like a human male, although you can't quite make out much, if any, physical features beyond that. It seems to be very generic. You do see the only feature that would be some form of identifier is slicked back hair that seems to trail just long enough to reach sort of the nape of his neck.
Do any of us recognize the figure as one of the two people that we suspected were in the tower?
You unfortunately do not. It appears to be far too generic from what you can tell. If you were to get closer, looking at it, you would see that a lot of time must have passed, and this statue has lost a large portion of detail through natural weathering. And the two attendants begin to walk down a hidden spiral staircase made of stone. It appears just behind the dais in front of the statue, and after a short amount of time, they are entirely vanished from the room. The one that had been speaking to you stands atop the dais, waiting for you to follow him. This does mean that Gershaw's already down there, by the way. He was carried by one of the attendants, being kept silent.
bollocks. Well, I guess we need to go after him at least.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Right? Social obligation, it's been enough weeks now.
I did just say that we're friends, so...
Why'd you have to go and do that? No, I'm kidding, of course.
I know, it's more like business associates, but... it was the only word I could think of at the time.
So we're not friends?
Are we friends?
I gave you all good berries.
I thought we were.
Okay.
Is this
Awesome.
friendship?
I think friendship is when you give good berries to each other, so yes.
The voice of the giant cuts through the argument of friendship and says, "You may continue this discussion downstairs."
Oh, we're having the first wholesome moment in like 33 weeks. Give us some slack.
But I will continue walking while talking.
For every second we remain up here, we are in mortal danger.
Are you mortal?
Let's just follow the tall man.
Is he our friend?
I think the concern is, are you mortal?
Are you our friends?
Only on weekdays.
And he begins to walk down the spiral staircase. Slowly, the fireflies begin to follow him, dimming the church more and more as each of the fireflies joins him on the spiral staircase.
I'm going down there.
I'm gonna walk, but in the meantime, I'm gonna sing. You won't just believe your eyes.
Not too in tune, though.
Oh, I know that song.
No danger. Yes, the fireflies. I'd like to think when I'm asleep. I look at Shelly and say, yeah, we're definitely friends.
As the singing happens between Shireen and Em as you walk towards the spiral staircase, you hear in the distance behind you, towards the entrance of what would have been the church, the telltale roar of a wrist slayer.
Aww.
Was it from chat?
No.
Oh.
You're legally allowed to tell us.
That sound happened in the game.
Oh shit.
Can you please all start coming down the stairs?
Yeah, okay, that's
Yeah, I thought I was like the first one down.
As who's the last one down?
That may be me. I am blind after all. I need to get into it.
And you're walking, Kane is walking, singing with Shireen, so.
Alright, so as you all head down the spiral staircase, Corporius, you are the last one to head down, and as such, there are the fewest number of fireflies still sort of floating around the dais. And just as you are about to lose sight of the church from above, in the shadows, you see what looks like thousands of sets of metal jaws.
Bruh.
All accompanied by claws. And as the
No.
firefly follows you down the spiral staircase, you see slowly encroaching closer the form of hundreds of thousands of wrist slayers piled high on top of one another, almost as if this column of light is keeping them at bay.
How far behind the party am I, and how far to the exit of the church?
You're right behind the party, and between you and the exit of the church probably stands an innumerable number of wrists.
Cool. I'm gonna keep walking a little bit faster and a little bit more clenched than before.
Alright, so as the entire party eventually makes their way further down, you enter what the giant tells you is simply named the Beneath. Stepping out from the stone staircase, you are met with thousands of tiny glimmering lights set into all facets of the wall. Strange organic vines cling to the ceiling and ring around the room, each of them glimmering with various coloured lights that shine from openings in them. All various colours, some flashing in patterns that make no sense to you. There is a large wooden round table in the centre of the room. Around the edge of this chamber are strange sort of pieces of the wall that extend out at about a 45-degree angle. All atop them are more lights that shine brightly, some dim, some flashing, some completely unilluminated. In the very center of the wooden table rises a transparent tube reaching all the way to the ceiling, and floating in this tube is a currently inert and inactive Riss Slayer. It seems to be curled into a fetal position as it floats in the center of the tube.
Is that thing alive?
Is that thing our friend?
I don't think it's our friend.
Do you guys make
It's
those?
alive then.
And the giant creature turns to look at Solgra, who asked first, and says, "Interesting. You are familiar with this creature?"
Yeah, we call them the Riss.
Or the camera crew.
The hand on Gershaw's mouth tightens up to stop him from speaking. The giant, speaking with Solgra, says, "We are, or were, instrumental in their creation, in a way. At least their current form. Our line stretches far, far back to times before humans lived upon this land. Many of the gods sought our consultations, not all of them with the interest of mortals in mind. Curious that you know its true name."
Why would you not use its true name?
My brothers and I had reason to believe that they were no longer of your world.
So you were bringing them back?
No, that was not our intention, nor is it what has transpired. This specimen is the first, and it has remained here in our sanctum since it was birthed. It is beyond life and death now. It serves more as a reminder.
Reminder of what?
our hubris.
Do you regret making the risk?
We regret many things, though I suppose the risk would be our race's greatest failure.
Can you tell us how you did it?
The exact methods are lost to history. I speak of a collective we when I say we created the risks. Our race created them. We, my brothers and I, as we stand before you, have not been here more than 10,000 years.
But the risks have.
Oh yes. The risks predate myself and my brothers. We are the last 3 of our race.
What's your race?
He says, even the name of our race is lost to time, our history, our peoples. All we know for sure is that we are the last 3, and we are the last 3 because of the risks. Please, take a seat, and we have much to explain to you about where you are and the current situation.
I sit on the floor.
One of the assistants takes a seat at the large round table. His brother, the one you've been speaking to, joins him. The third one, currently restraining Gershaw, stands behind them and slowly begins to place Gershaw in a similar looking tube.
Wow, will he be okay in that tube?
He will not be not okay.
Will
His
he
well-being is immaterial.
No, 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 no. You can't do that.
We must.
No, 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 no. Just give him some Emmy, BAFTA, something, but don't put it in the thing.
These odd personality quirks that you are surely experiencing are only the beginning of a much worse fate. Given enough time and influence, especially in this place, he will eventually complete his transformation into a Sibriex himself.
How do we cure him?
He is cursed. He can only be cured through a spell that would undo the curse. And
Which we need to know the curse.
Of course.
Is that why he's speaking with that funky accent?
It is, as you ask that question, Gershaw, you begin to sprout a growth on your shoulder that looks like a large tumor. It takes only a moment before it appears to have jaws of its own.
I'm not touching that.
And you
We're
feel
putting him.
so famished.
No, 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 no. they're
You've never
here.
been more hungry in your life.
You've broken him.
Can I speak to one of the giants and ask?
Put him in the tube.
Point him in the tube. Like, stop this process. Like, hold. Like, pause it at least.
It most certainly would not speed it up.
Sorry, sorry, I'm having a moment on mute.
Is dealing with an invasion.
Yeah, insects.
Do my own cursory look around the room for 8-legged intruders.
Just never open your windows, Kappa.
I do that, and I still have to deal with them.
Because I do.
sluggishly opens the damn windows and lets them in. Just like, come in!
I really have to pee, so do you guys mind if I go? Or
I was about to do a break. The giant wants everyone to sit down around the table. If you would please take a seat.
I go sit down.
Sit down
I'm gonna
on the
go
table.
sit down.
Excellent. And as you all sit down, now is a great time for a break.
I run away from the insects. See you in a bit.
Let me do a quick switch to our Be Right Back screen so we can do a quick drop right here. Don't forget Hughes motes. I keep forgetting that after I've done the drop. But there we go. We'll take a 5-minute break before we come back to deal with all the revelations that I honestly assumed we would get to like an hour ago.
Sorry.
No, it's just 2 weeks off and I have forgotten how to pace this.
How to corral your rowdy morons to not mess with Gershaw and Strombo.
Honestly, worth it.
I don't want to be the second instance of this, but I'm literally just acting out what's on the paper.
That's how I would act. That's fine, because now you're having all the attributed horrific body horror transformations that come with it.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
I'll get some today donuts.
I could probably do with getting a snack. I'm gonna get one of those protein bars. But before I go for my own break and talk about more and stuff, let's have a look at chat. How's everyone doing? Sorry, I was a bit out of sorts when we started because I had not done actual DMing in such a long time. So I didn't say hi to the usual people. So hi, how's everything going, guys? Mar, it's good to see you. Silver, how's it going? I saw Pab in there earlier. What's going on, man? Barack, welcome to the stream. Ant's in here. I don't usually see Ant around. How's it going, dude? Birchie, obviously. I hope you guys have all returned to your usual Wednesday night takeout situations for D&D. I hope that we've brought you some level of entertainment in the first half of tonight. Also, Time Lord's wife, I haven't seen you around in ages. Thanks for dropping in, even though I believe you're lurking, but thanks all the same. Did I miss anybody? I'm just scrolling up. I just see a lot of the party and a few other people. But yeah, sorry if I didn't shout you out, but good to see all of you. So glad to see you all hanging out. Yeah, yes, one of the drop avatars is going out of Fanny Boss's ass. Well spotted. That is a sentence I wasn't expecting to read on Twitch this evening. Oh, Birchie, I'm so jealous. I'm having to actually take care of myself and eat better, therefore no actual takeout until Fat Friday. Although it's going to mean an excessively large pizza for cheat day. Dude, you can get Japanese takeout? Like, enjoy that while you can, because when you move, I'm pretty sure... I mean, you didn't move yet, did you? Because when you do move, I'm pretty sure that's not an option. Otherwise, I'd be all over that. So jelly. The drop is reset. I believe Mark won that. I should have paid better attention. I know he knocked me off at the top spot. Fat Free Friday? No, Fat Friday. I'm doing locale every other day. Thank you, Silver. Have my son. Actually, I made a chicken fried rice after work today for me, Charles, and Ashley, because we're all currently in the same location. So I did the cooking. It was good, but you know, there's just something about, you know, takeout might be bad for you. Oh, you move tomorrow? Nice. But I've done well. I have been doing the low calories and the exercises and the losing of the weight. But damn, do I miss greasy pizza. You know, sometimes you just need what's bad for you. But that's Fat Friday. Although I do have a protein bar downstairs, but I was waiting for someone else to come back to entertain you. But they're all gone. Has anyone figured out at all what the giant things are meant to be? I don't know if that was... I think Mart's probably figured it out. I think Mart has an idea, and I think maybe Cacto has also sort of cottoned on to like the inspiration for them. Hashtag better than Ridley Scott. Secrets? What's I mean, the secret is I didn't really plan this session very well because I was I've been exhausted from doing work, man. I had quite the hefty like workload with working the deadline, so this was just me trying to continue on from the part Stargate, part something else rip-offs that I've been working on for this bit before we get into Secret Wars. I don't know, someone could die. There is a fairly beefy combat coming up that they aren't aware of. I don't know if anyone actually tried googling Cybriex to find out what it is, because it's an actual D&D 5th edition monster, and it's nasty, and that's why I told them to wear the brown pants. Awesome. Yeah, Mart with the rig. That's 2 wins so far this break. Alright, 3rd time's a charm. Let's see if I can win on my own on my own stream. Oh, that's not looking good, is it? Maybe I should have put some nicer music on for the break rather than some kind of... Let's go back to the incompetent butcher music, because I like that that plunky organ sound. There you go. We'll roll with this for a bit. Oh, Silvers might win this one. Right, I will be right back. I see a few people returning, so maybe they'll have chats to amuse you guys while I go fetch myself a protein bar. Be right back.
Hello, it is I.
Hello.
It is Russell also. It is snack time. Very excited. Marthaus, is that another remote with a white background? Someone needs to tell you about transparent PNGs, my friends.
I've turned the lights off, so I won't be able to see them. I don't know if that's better or not.
That's definitely better. Hey, Silver. How you
Hi,
doing?
chat. Russell, what are you eating? Chicken nuggets.
Cheeky Kentucky Fried Chicken.
No, on Wednesday
Okay.
with... What?
Cereal.
Cereal? It's 10
Like-
p.m.
Hey, there's nothing better than cereal at 10 p.m. I second that.
Yeah, it's just the best thing.
Better than in the morning.
You might be right.
Should buy a cereal, just so I can have snacks in the middle of the night.
How's everyone doing today?
You're asking us or chat?
Both.
Fine.
What, Mart?
Now the 20 is coming out of Funny Boss. How do you know?
Det är en stroopwafel.
No.
Har du någon bond? Bedanke dank. I'm good. Good to hear, Mart. Birch is also good. Someone who's not good to... This is too wholesome. Someone who's miserable. Go.
Hold on. Oh, I got you. There you go.
Aww. Thanks. I'm knackered. It's so hot.
Like, I took my sweater off at the beginning of D&D. I've literally wore it all day and been like, fine.
Aha,
Not
it was
super
like
hot.
30 degrees.
Yeah. Well, you know how cold this room is, like. I suffer from it, and it's a suffering, my coldness.
I suppose you could put Capo into like an oven and it'd come out the same.
That's because I'm already hot.
Oh.
He
Hot and
comes out with
spicy.
an extra sweater from the oven.
So it's cold in here. He brings a movie in.
Made out of whatever was in there, Lady Gaga style.
Oh, that's gross.
Don't rub it in. Yeah, don't rub it in with the meat sweater.
Do not rub the meat sweater anywhere, please.
You all
Do you think-
drowned.
Wouldn't that be like a health hazard after like a couple of hours of wearing it?
What, a sweater?
No, meat sweater.
Well, it just depends on how you take care of it, you know? It's just like any other sweater. You need to hang it to dry every once in a while and stuff.
So ages.
Yeah. Just when it gets smelly, just hang it outside for half a day. You'll be fine. Always thought I need to cool down. Like, I've had that on holidays. I very much prefer this, because it's easy to add layers. It's hard to cool down. Oh, silver. Oh, no.
That's fucking boggin.
Oops.
Oh.
I return. Protein bar has been consumed.
Welcome back. You missed nothing important at all.
I'm sure I missed absolutely nothing.
We're talking about meat and salt.
Silver had a good recipe, though.
Bruh.
Have you turned the lights off, Em, so you don't have to see the bugs?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm sure there's lights
Here
going to go back
somewhere.
on before the end of the night.
Oh.
It's
Ripeys.
back. Brig is back. Shh, everyone behave. Also, Brig, I sent you another message. After the first one. No rush, still. Not particularly important.
Yep, got you.
Okay, thank you.
No problemo. So I've just had a quick look at party chat because obviously I don't have it loaded up during the actual game, so it's not on screen. But
It's just memes today, isn't it?
it's good memes. It's good memes, guys. Alright, we're just waiting on Charles then.
Oh.
There he is.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Quite an angle.
I now can hear again.
Hi.
Hello, good to see you.
Alright. First, I will change the music back to The Beneath.
Excuse me.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how fucking hilarious the beginning of the section was?
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh my god.
That's a damn highlight. That was ridiculous.
Those 20 minutes of just, I don't know.
Struggling.
Yeah.
On track for being our best session yet. Alright, let me.
I'm just gonna say it now. I'm putting a pattern on for snack margarine. If anyone wants to get on board.
Some people will eat that.
Alright,
You think you're gonna crave snack margarine even when you come back as Gersha? If you come back as Gersha at some point.
No.
Alright, I'm bringing the cameras back. We are back on screen. We returning.
I misses me.
Alright, so you guys are all sat around a large antique wooden round table in the center of this chamber that the giants have referred to as the Beneath. And one of them has placed Gershaw in this tube, which you can presume to be some sort of stasis tube based on how the wrist is not reacting to anything, because that one is kind of sat built into the table. The one that Gershaw is in is now off to the side. Okay. And finally the third giant sits at one of the seats flanking his other brother and looks at the party, and the one who's been speaking to you the most, begins to introduce himself and give you a little bit of an explanation as to what is actually going on here. And so the three of them pull back their hoods and lean forward on the table. And the first one says to you, "My name is Zemir. These are my brothers, Ubarg and Zekas. We have resided in this chamber for 10,000 years now. You are not currently in the mortal realm."
That explains a lot.
Of course. You are currently in a twin, is how I'd best put it, of the mortal realm. All the same, or similar landmarks and structures, but the entire land bathed in a deep shadow. This realm was once our home. Now it belongs to them. And he gestures at the wrist floating in the tube. We were once
How did we...
Sorry, you asked a question?
I was just gonna say, how did we get here?
By means of magic. A sort of slipping between the worlds. We are quite capable of it, and we can transport other mortal creatures that we deign to imbue with our power. So we can move somewhat freely between the realms, although we remain here for a separate, most sacred task. You will not need to spend long here, do not worry, although traveling far without the light of our small fiery creatures, you will likely be killed by the Riss. But this is the only place we could travel to to speak openly about the events currently happening in the location you know as Flaverton. For some 2 centuries now, Flaverton has been under the control of a vampire count. A creature that bears us really no interest. Vampires are mundane as far as we are concerned. However, in the last year, one of our failed experiments made its way between the worlds and infested Flaverton. It now goes by the name Fieri, though it is neither mortal nor man. The statue that you saw in the church in your world was that of the true form of Fieri. It knows powerful magics, and with the help of some of our equipment that remained in your world, it has taken the minds of the residents. It uses them as food for harvest. It has supplanted the vampire count, and whether its vampire cohorts are aware of Fieri's true identity or not, they still follow it loyally. Those who mistakenly wander too close to Flaverton, if our magical barriers are not enough to repel them, become part of Fieri's harvest. You are the first in over a year to have been able to pass through our barriers and remain unchanged, unaltered. So perhaps it is you who can finally end Fieri. Luckily, you brought your compatriot to us in time. Fieri is a highly intelligent creature made of things that come from the abyss. We were foolish enough to give it sentience in an attempt to create a weapon, and now we have done our best to contain it to a single village, though it appears to have begun to propagate, and as he says that, he points at the tube with a floating Gershaw in it, who has now sprouted a few more fleshy masses and growths from various points on his body, all with chattering teeth.
Lovely.
Indeed. Sorry if anybody's eating.
So this is the second attempt at creating a creature that's turned badly that you've told us about now.
Fieri was a risk, granted, but a calculated one. We had hoped a creature like Fieri, or any Cibriex that we were able to empower from the abyss, might stand a chance at thinning the risk population in our dimension. Suffice to say, we have not had an opportunity to test that hypothesis.
But now you want him dealt with.
Your arrival has signified our inability to keep Fieri under control. If you were able to enter Flaverton of your own free will and remain unchanged, then surely you won't be the last. And if you could enter, I'm sure Fieri's already believing there is a way that he can leave.
Have you tried to kill it yourself?
We are at a disadvantage.
How so?
Fieri in particular shares portions of our own genetic makeup. And as such, if we were to leave our own sanctum, which protects us, we too would find ourselves changed in personality and join the herd of humanoid cattle that Fieri feasts upon. We are ineffectual in your reality.
So, if you share some of yourself with Fieri, how do we kill you? That would surely be the first step towards killing him.
I would rather not give away all of our secrets. We have only just met. Though, I imagine attacking us in our own sanctum would be a terrible, terrible idea for you. As we are the only way to return to your reality, and beyond these walls lie only hives and legions of Riss. I can tell you that it's, if Fieri is anything like us, he will be immune to poison. And we are known for being rather resistant to extreme temperatures.
That's helpful.
This
Thank
will
you.
serve you well. Though, bear in mind, we also have strong telepathic powers, and Fieri, of course, shares these as he amplifies his own abilities to control the minds of the denizens of Flaverton.
Yeah.
If we deal with this Fieri, will it save our friend in the tube?
That would quite possibly end this curse.
Okay.
Although, as he remains here, even in stasis, it appears his transformation and Fieri's propagation accelerates. Are any of you willing to do anything for your compatriot?
If we can bring back his mind, could we bring him to a place where he would be on our side to the point that we can get him to fight Fieri?
And on Zamir's left, Zekas stands up and begins to gesture with his hand towards Gershaw, pointing specifically at his torso. And he somewhat lectures on the situation and tells you this article of clothing appears to be the originator of Fieri's attempt at propagating. It has fused with his flesh and is almost certainly part of him now. The masses of flesh that are beginning to sprout from him like tumors will only increase in mass as they become part of a complete Cybriex. And he attempts to explain the Cybriex to you. He says, a Cybriex is a creature native to the Abyss, although Fieri is special as he has been altered by us. The rest of a Cybriex remains true. If you would imagine a bag of rations you carry with you. Carried for months on end without ever being opened. Forgotten about in the back of a pack. Carried through all manner of extreme weather conditions and set upon by woodland creatures. Eventually, after a year, whatever remained of that pack of rations would only be 100th as disgusting as the foul, fetid flesh that makes up a Cypriox. They are the forgotten corners of the abyss, and they have survived for millennia, giving even the non-enhanced ones a particular intelligence. This is an unnatural form of propagation that we believe we are responsible for in regards to your friend here. I postulate that were we to receive blood from a donor, we might be able to separate your friend from this fate.
How much blood? And does the blood matter?
The blood would need to be untainted. Anyone with ties to the lower planes would likely accelerate the propagation. But other
I think
than
most of us
that,
are okay.
What counts as lower planes?
like, you'd know the lower planes would be things like the Nine Hells and the Abyss.
Okay. So like Edus, like the material plane would be...
Material plane's like the middle.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What's higher than material planes?
Like the heavenly planes, like where Bahamut lives.
Okay. Where is the Feywild in comparison?
Feywild and Shadowfell are in line with the material plane.
Okay, so if anyone else wants to go.
I think except for Solgro, we should all be okay. You recently drank the
Avernus wine.
brew.
And
So did I, actually.
Balthazar did that.
Does it have to be human though?
Or crustacean.
Cuban is preferable, as I assume from looking at him he is some variant of human, no. But it's not a hard and fast requirement.
What's
Alright.
the closest of human that we have?
M asks what's the closest human we have. Shuri goes, got it! The
Yeah.
Birdman steps forward.
Exactly!
Exactly. That is what I was thinking.
There's a Birdman.
So,
Zekas walks around a console and retrieves a steel tray and returns to you. And with a needle, he approaches you, and he does tie off your arm, catching some feathers in the process, and does his best to remain polite and sort of exude a less cold bedside manner. And he says, this won't take long. I promise I won't hurt you more than is absolutely necessary.
don't worry, I'm a
Wait.
genius doctor.
Wait,
I know all about this.
one moment.
And
What
he,
do
he,
you
he stops
plan?
with the needle, like, just pressed against Shuri's skin, and sort of turns to look at you and says, yes.
What do you plan on doing with the Zibriax afterwards?
What do you mean? If we are to separate Parasite from host, Parasite will not survive.
Okay, cool.
You're not gonna make any strange creatures with this blood, right? You guys seem to have a habit of making creatures that you regret later.
You certainly look strange enough for our tastes.
Hey.
Oh, burn.
And he jabs the needle into Sharid's arm.
I'm gonna take out a vial and just stand ready next to him.
Begins to draw a lot of blood. A lot of blood.
Shit. Cherry.
Can I stop it halfway through?
Are you okay?
Once he's finally
think
done,
so.
it's nearly a full pint of Sharid's blood. He does, however, offer you a small square.
I eat the square.
You find that it is obnoxiously sweet. But it will bring your blood sugar back up.
I mix the square with a good berry and try and dilute it.
Can you roll a Constitution saving throw for me, Sharid?
Sure.
Please be okay. Not.
You are going to take 20 points of damage.
I stuff my face with 20 good berries over the course of however long it takes to do that.
How clean a wound is this? Is this bleeding at all?
No, it's done very professionally. It's none of you really have ever seen this kind of apparatus before in game.
Interesting. Cool.
Out of
Okay,
game,
that's good.
if you were to see this in a TV show, you would instantly recognize it as like modern day medical supplies from an actual modern day hospital.
Yeah.
So it was done in the most cleanest professional way possible.
Very nice. I wasn't asking for any particular reason, just wondering.
And Zekas uses a form of telekinesis to levitate Gershaw's pod, as it were at this point, and he floats it into a side room. The last any of you see of Gershaw in this state, as he vanishes out of view around the corner in this levitating pod, is essentially a mass of tumors sprouting from all over his body, covering his face, his entire torso. The shirt that he was wearing is almost unrecognizable as clothing. It's just bulging skin that's stretching and tearing in places, oozing with pus.
Lovely.
And Zekas vanishes around the corner, and you hear some less than pleasant squelching sounds for the duration of the next sort of hour or so. But as he vanishes, Zemir looks at the party again and says, "This may take a short while. Please make yourselves at home in our sanctum while you wait, and if you have any further questions, we would be happy to answer them. It has been many, many years since we last had a visitor."
Do you have any
What?
questions? Sorry. Cherry, go.
Question. I have a vial of fun stuff. You guys like fun stuff. What do you think of this fun stuff? And I pull out a little vial of Zigoo. I say, don't open it.
And the giant Zemir reaches his hand out to take the vial from you. Doesn't snatch for it or anything, he just holds out his palm and extends it to you.
And I pass over the vial and say, don't open it. It has spores that seem to spread and look for hosts and cause bad things. I don't know what it does, but it doesn't look good.
And as he takes it from you, as his hand returns across the table, at the shortest distance between Zigoo and Zitub of Riss, that is the center point of the table, the Riss begins to convulse. But as he takes the tube further towards him and holds it in front of him, the further it gets from the Riss, it stops convulsing and remains still again.
Did you see that?
And he nods and places the vial in his robe.
I didn't mean to give it to you. I just was wondering if you knew what it was.
I know exactly what it is, and that is why it will not be returned to you.
That's fair enough. What does it do, though, out of curiosity? Since I don't have it anymore, of course, because you have it now.
This substance is known as Plagiaris praepotens. It is a combination of, well, to put it simply for you to understand, it contains a mixture of our genetic material that made our own race, as well as a particularly potent virus.
Ah, yes, indubitably.
It seeks to forcibly evolve or change living creatures, not simply limited to mammalian life forms. Anything you consider living, it will seek out in any way that it can and change them. Its final blueprint was always intended to be a way for our own race to propagate and continue, facing a deadly virus that was set upon us millennia ago. However, the virus we use as a base seems particularly aggressive and seems to favor a more deadly end result, with which he gestures at the wrist floating in the tank.
And what would happen if it was used on a plant, for example?
Imagine that plant. Now imagine that plant as if it were grown in a dimension where there are only risks.
Would a plant be scarier than if it were put on something to create a risk?
And he nods at the wrists in the center of the table and says, if the genetic makeup of this creature does not terrify you, then I suppose nothing will.
That's fair. That is all.
DM's note, how many vials of Zagu do you still have?
2.
Well, there you go. I've just in character confirmed exactly what you were assuming it does.
That's a discount, honestly.
It cost you 1 vial to find out what the other 2 will do.
Hey, that's honestly big value.
I hope the rest of the party are paying attention.
Rest of the party are scared.
So, in layman's terms, you made something with a virus base to continue your race and inadvertently ended up making the race.
That would be a fairly accurate summary, yes. And with the years since their creation, there has become a natural balance in our realm shifted towards the risk. No longer are we living in the stage of a pure virus outbreak, but now we are the minority, and this world has changed entirely to suit the risk. We have not explored far beyond the borders of our version of Flaverton since the incident with Fieri began, as we maintain the barrier in your world.
So, does that mean you don't know about the current issues that we're facing with the risk in our world?
I was curious to know more about how you were able to identify this creature. To our knowledge, they had failed to gain any footholds in any other dimensions and existed purely in our own. This was a burden that we would bear to save the other dimensions, if we might be so bold as to call what we do now a grand sacrifice.
Well, you've failed then, because they're already in our world.
This news brings heavy emotions that add to our burden, though we cannot aid in any way, if that is what you are asking, until this situation with the Cybriax has been resolved. We are no longer required to maintain a barrier to contain him in Flaverton in your world.
I think we should be able to help you with that problem, but could we get some information on the risks in case we don't succeed, so that we could help deal with our problem afterwards?
Sorry, out of character, are you proposing that they tell you stuff in case you fail to deal with the Fieri situation?
No, maybe, yes.
They're not agreeing to that. If you fail to deal with Fieri, presumably through death, then perhaps Fieri itself is your realm's best hope for countering the risks. Should you succeed, and it is our hope that you will, and with ease, then clearly you will be more than qualified to counter the risk threat in your own dimension, and with any glimmer of hope, our own. As Pam says in chat, good try, Birdman. While this is happening, Solgra, can you roll for me a make it a straight up wisdom check?
God.
I'll tell you
That
outright.
is wise.
It's DC 10. DC 10 wisdom check.
Well, it was a 3, so I'm going to use my inspiration.
Alright, go for it.
$19.
That'll do
As
it.
expected of that.
As the conversation continues, and you sort of sit there pondering events, both recent and in the past, you start to piece together a theory in your mind that this dimension, whatever shadow realm you're currently in with these giants, is the exact same dimension that you went to when dealing with the Gith.
I knew it. Freaking knew it.
Oh man.
You have been here before. Not this chamber, not this particular location, but you've been somewhere in this realm, and you feel certain now, as you hear more conversations between these giants and yourselves, that yeah, this is where you've been. Caporius, you, while looking around, sort of idly, looking at this guardian, and then looking at just the walls and the lights and the textures, you spot something that catches your eye just off in the corner. There is a section of the wall that isn't covered in these strange pitch black vines with the blinking lights. You spot what looks like carvings.
Oh, okay.
You spot carvings on the wall. They look something like pictographs from a distance.
Pictographs, eh? Maybe I should go inspect this place. I will go inspect the wall.
So as you are looking at the wall, you are approached by the third brother, whose name I wrote down but have not said in a while.
Ubarg.
That was it, Ubarg. He looks at you as you stare at the wall, at these pictographs, these various glyphs, and with some interest, he sort of kneels down to your height and looks at them as well, and says, "This is, from the best we understand, the last surviving original texts of our race. Some of the history is said to be kept in these stone tablets, though the language was lost to us eons ago. What do you make of it?"
Give me some time with it. Let me have a look, and I'm gonna sit down and start a ritual. To try and comprehend what is written on the wall. Using comprehend languages.
Sorry for the silence.
I am obtaining knowledge.
I am
Taking it all in.
telepathically knowledging Capo. While the rest of you two as Capo does his knowledging. I will remind you that every once in a while you hear an ungodly, like, squelch noise, and then, Charles, give us your best scream.
I mean...
Oh no.
And somebody clip that, please.
I'm six again and in the zoo. It's wonderful.
Can we make this a sub alert or something?
Channel redeem for a
I'm gonna use it as a
monster.
So yeah, you're hearing nasty squelching noises followed by Gershow's screams intermittently.
Nice.
A Gnarl Slayer. Redeem, please.
Yes.
We're walking through a dimly lit corridor, torchlight flickers, and all of a sudden you hear.
I'm just chilling, I think.
I'm staying as far away from the wrist as possible.
I look at the giants and I'm fascinated by how big they are. I'm just doing my thinking. Oh, actually, no. What the fuck? I'm put a hand in my pocket. I get some amber. I get some leaves, and I make a rolly. And I'm vibing with the giants. I asked the giants if they would like a rolly as well.
Zamir agrees, and after you've rolled him one and handed it to him, it looks comically small in his hand. Like this large hand with like this small like rolly that you've made. Like.
Does it mean that when I smoke, it looks like I'm smoking a cigar?
It does.
Because it's huge. I never realized that.
Like this massive hand of this giant is just smoking on this what would be a normal human-sized cigarette rolling. But he seems to enjoy partaking, although it doesn't because of the like size of it. It's not like he's drawing a lot of like smoke into his lungs. But he's
Can I ask what tobacco they smoke? I bet it's something like Pueblo or Gordon, Virginia down here.
And he responds with, "We don't usually imbibe in vices. I'm not sure if any of our race historically have smoked or drank or taken mind-altering substances."
You're the first one.
And with that, like a really uncomfortable, like grimace of a smile stretches across his features. Like he's never smiled before in his entire existence, so it looks unnatural as hell. Just like, and he looks at you and says, "I suppose I am."
I would like to try and imitate. Oh, I would like to try and imitate the smile that he's doing.
It looks like a rictus grin on your face as well. Everyone looking at either you or Zamir right now would be wildly uncomfortable and on the verge of suffering from the effects of fear.
Good.
Uneasy at best. Alright, so as time passes, Corporius, the ritual is complete.
I will address Ubark and I will say, Ubark, what can you tell me about the Asgard?
To which Ubark shrugs and says, that is not a name I am familiar with. And he sort of leads you around what looks like a table covered in black lines. And as you reach the other side, you can see that there's a large glowing sheet on it. And as Ubark touches it, you can see that there's writing that changes. And he presses on different places of this sheet. And you can see that the writing continues to fade in and out and change, and it emits a low glow that illuminates yours and his faces for anyone looking over at you. And he says, the memories contain no entry for the Asgard.
None at all.
Nothing.
Whose memories are these?
This is the last surviving databank of our people. It contains all the collected knowledge that we could reasonably keep in one place before the collapse of our society. You do notice in the top left-hand corner of this sheet, this illuminated sheet, are the letters A-P.
Do you know when this tablet was forged?
To which he presses a few more places on this sheet that glows in front of you, and eventually a whole bunch of writing appears. You can read it. It's definitely not in any language that you've seen before, but having done the ritual recently, you understand the text that appears in front of you, and you read the words, AP System Information version 3, and it says uptime, and you quickly calculate the uptime to over 20,000 years.
How can you read this board black thing?
To which he nods and says, some of it. Some of the particular phrases and pictographs were lost to time. Some things cannot be understood by myself and my brothers, though we make do with that which we can translate. Give me a straight up D20 roll for the lulz.
My mind is racing right now.
Just give me a D20 roll just to see if I do something stupid or not stupid.
Natural 20.
Alright, so as you are looking at this output on this sheet, a third of the way or so down the page are pictographs that you understand, which read language settings.
Oh.
I press the pictogram. I go into the void that is the system settings.
So Ubark is a bit taken aback by your sudden reaching out and pressing sort of just any pictograph. He's like, we tend to only press what we know, as some of the memory is confusing, and it's easy to get lost.
Other than Common, which we seem to be speaking, what other languages do you know?
He says we are not speaking Common, as you call it. We are merely speaking our own language and telepathically translating for you.
What is this language?
It bears no name.
That's really not helpful. I'm trying to do you a solid here.
After you press language settings, you do see a list of every known language and some that you don't recognize on that list. Although, at the end of one particular set of pictograms which read the words Asgardian, there is a parenthesis that says default. It is not currently selected.
If our expedition against Lord Fieri goes well, can you provide us with necessary information to help us fight the risks as Sharit requested?
To which he nods and says, of course, that is a deal we are happy to stick to. Memory contains all manner of knowledge on our previous experiments, including the risks.
This memory here?
Yes.
Okay. I propose that we do this quest for you. And to assure our mutual interests upon returning, you allow us access to these memories to learn what we need to learn. And in exchange, regardless or other than the Fieri situation, I allow you access to this information in a way that I assume you haven't had in a long time. In a way that you can actually understand it. And relearn some of your own history.
He looks at you, his expression changing for the first time since meeting him to one of mild confusion. And then he scans the room and looks over towards Zimir. And Zimir looks back and nods. And so he turns to you and says, if this is a promise you believe that you can keep, then we have a deal.
All I need to be is alive.
Then endeavor to live.
Generally. Very well. Do we shake? Do you have hands? I'm just a bit confused now.
And he reaches out with a giant hand and wraps it around yours. You're still in human disguise, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm still...
As Balthazar. Like, his
I'll
entire
tip my hat
hand
to him.
like, just encompasses your hand and like most of your forearm, just in his palm. And he gently moves his hand up and down to shake, doing his best not to break you.
It's appreciated. One last question. Do you have... I know this is like your own world and all that. Do you have any materials here, or things, I lack of a better word here, that we would consider material in our plane?
Are you after something specific? That is a rather broad question.
I realize it is. I'm after... And I realize how this sounds, but it's the best way to explain it. I'm after objects of value. Object of value in our realm. One of the objects that I'm requiring is a silver gauge.
There were when we would keep on hand precious metals for maintenance purposes. There may well be some silver in its raw form, but anything else would have to be a query to memory.
Well, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to rediscuss this.
I do warn you that some of the objects logged in memory may no longer be accessible with any level of ease, as memory contains knowledge of many objects which are no part of this sanctum.
That is absolutely fair. Like I said, I would be keen to rekindle this conversation.
As you say those words, running from around the corner into plain view is a bright red, naked as the day he was born and screaming at the top of his lungs, Gershaw.
I Eldritch? No.
Charles,
I say, hey, it's Strumbo.
You know that we love you very much, right?
Hey, Strumbo.
Before you interact with him, Charles, your character Gershaw now had removed all of the positive effects of the curse. You also are no longer in a state of transformation. The curse has been broken. However, there are some side effects.
The hair.
Your hair, which was previously of a mullet variety, shares the same style, but is now about 75% feathers. You have vestigial wings, and what is quite apparent to anyone that can see you at this exact moment is that your toes and toenails and your fingers and fingernails are more talon-like. And also, because no one pointed out to any of the giants that Gershaw was not meant to be red, they didn't fix that. So now he is perma-red.
Charles, we love you very much.
Excuse me.
You regained every memory up until the point that the curse took place. You have also retained every memory since the curse took place, so you don't need any catching up in that regard. You also have an extra memory that you did not have before. And I will DM that to you later.
Okay.
Oh no, we need to buy some paint for this man.
Guys, what the fuck?
Body painting stream.
How are you feeling? You look radiant.
You've been out in the sun a lot recently, Gershaw.
Why does my mouth taste like
and also
freaking margarine?
Before anything else, Cactus, your Talon attack on your character sheet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to screenshot that and send it to Charles, because he can now do it as well.
Hell yeah, dude. I started speaking Ara Cochran to Charles, like just like expecting him to respond back.
You know Ara
with
Cochran now.
My very first question being, and how are you now?
And back in Akron. What the fuck?
Pretty good, and you?
Are you chirping or are you speaking common?
I said in Ara Cochran.
Yeah, you can chirp now.
Great. Fantastic.
It feels uncomfortable initially because you've not really had the whatever the vocal rearrangement is to do that.
Do I have wings?
Yeah, you have vestigial wings. They don't work, but they're on you.
That's what I mean. So they don't work. They're just...
They're decorative.
Decorative wings.
Fantastic.
Your
gotta
plumage is also crimson red.
Fantastic.
You look very celestial. I will admit. When I think of, you know, like divine creatures, you're pretty much the spitting image, really.
Can someone please give him some clothes?
Please.
And just to not be that guy, like I'm not taking all control away from you. This is entirely changeable with something akin to a true polymorph spell if you were to seek one out and go fix it. But you will, for the immediate future, be trapped in this particular form.
Oh, trust me, I'm going to try and find that fucking spell.
You'll grow into it. No, you'll like it.
You can now be known as the phallic barbarian. Because you're a bird and your penis is just like...
I'm pretty sure the one person that can actually polymorph you is going to be the one person that will outright refuse to do so.
Hi.
Oh, chat says, can he fall safely with those wings? You know what? On top of that, we'll give him a little bonus there. So not only do you have the talent attack that Arakar can get like Shreed, but you also get the equivalent of what the wizard's slow fall spell would be.
You got slow fall.
Well, now you have it twice.
That's amazing. Like you've improved. Like...
Fine. I'll tell you what. I'm taking it. I'm gonna double slow fall. So let's have a look. What does slow fall do? Just for reference. Right. So basically, I can reduce any falling damage I take with a reaction by 110 now. There we go. Boom.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, what I mean is, actually, I'm thinking more about the World of Warcraft style slow fall, which is you will literally just fall slowly.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Mary Poppins.
I guess like feather fall. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
like Mary Poppins with an umbrella.
All right. That's cool. So I can glide.
It's more like falling with style, but yeah.
Oh, I guess I have to take it. Like.
Anyway, return to your freak out.
Yeah, this is all part of that. Right, so first of all, where's my gold? I want my clothes back. I want my hood of protection back. Damn straight, I remembered all of that.
I just kind of look over to him.
I think you've knocked your head pretty hard, Gersh.
Oh no.
Again.
No.
I didn't send a DM.
Right. I'm just.
Caporius.
Yes.
I'll be as soon as he's got his memories back. Could I please have my 300 gold back?
Good, absolutely. Here you go.
Thank you.
I hand her gold and I look over at him again, and then I look back.
Close enough.
Also, Solgar, if you want to check your DMs, if you can do it on the sly, that'd be even better.
Yes.
Don't show the bird, man.
Right, I'm not looking.
Mr. Birdman, where is the gold? Oh,
The gold is.
Okay, cool. You can turn around.
Alright, so as Gershor is freaking out, walking around the corner, wearing a heavily blood-stained apron and carrying a mass of writhing flesh, is Zekus, and he walks. He's wearing a surgical mask as well, and he walks across the room into a side room opposite, and you hear a thud, and then he walks back out, and he's now no longer wearing the apron mask, and the flesh mass is gone.
I'm just gonna go.
I say, oh, good man. You have done an excellent job on reconstructing our friend. I'm amazed at this technology, and you have my eternal respect.
And he kneels down to eye level with Shreed, and he looks at Shreed, and he looks at Gershaw, and he looks at Shreed and says, I did my best.
You did better than your best. It is outstanding, truly.
I must apologize. I don't think he'll be able to fly again.
It's alright. It's alright. He was always at the bottom of his class, anyways. I'm sure it will not be a missed ability.
And I'm
we'll
afraid
find
he was
ways.
too far through the transformation to reconstruct his beak.
That's again quite alright. We'll make do. It's a tragic loss, truly, but I'm impressed. I am a loss for words here.
And he gives you a respectful nod, which is almost a
give
bow, considering his size.
I bow back and give him a good berry in thanks.
Hey, you produce good berries now.
You know what? No. No,
Oh, that's a shame.
No.
Joshua, roll a d20. Roll a d20.
Will you tell us where they come from?
Don't do this, because guys is gonna send me a DM then about where they come from.
Just the d20. That's all we need.
11.
Shreed, would you like to describe and narrate for us how Gershaw creates a singular good berry?
I'm gonna go send him a DM instead of that. Charles, are you on your phone? Do you have Discord?
Yeah.
Private? Okay.
State secrets.
I love the idea of it being like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, where he just wakes up one morning and is just covered in good berries.
It's only going to be a singular good berry, and he's going to produce one almost entirely out of actually not entirely, but part instinct and part shock.
What the fuck?
It's going to be preceded by a small yelp.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. Boy, right, that's it. No. No, and no. No.
But, right, you didn't get inspiration, otherwise you could have re-rolled the 11 and hoped for a lower. But you didn't get inspiration.
This is why I want Shreed to narrate it, because Cactus is in fact the majority owner of Aarakocran canon in the Ebon Death. So what he says goes for all Aarakocra.
I sent Charles a DM, but basically, Charles is just aware of a process that is just too sacred, horrifying, and disturbing to narrate out loud. He's filled with a sense of dread and horror at what he has created, but cannot utter the words out loud.
What do the rest of the party see?
They just lose sight of Gershaw for a second. They simultaneously blink and a good berry appears, while Gershaw has a horrified expression on his face.
Where does it appear? Where do we see it?
By the time you see it, he's holding it in his hands.
How did what did the yelp sound like?
If we just roll back that clip of
Yeah,
screaming
that clip,
please.
I'm not doing it again.
That's okay, that's still in our minds.
Great.
There we go. I think you have now been adequately punished for picking up Guy Fieri's shirt and wearing it immediately.
Punishment? Wait, this is a blessing.
This is a blessing, yeah. We've wrapped all the way around
Yes.
from bad to so good. Also, bear in mind, that could have been any level of transformation. It just happens to have been Shreed that stepped up to offer his blood first.
I was just thinking, what if we all shared our blood? That would have been such
then it would have been a multi-race homunculus.
Frank and Gershon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did you solid, like Gershon. You're just a bit birdie, that's all.
And what have we learned about picking up items that we don't know where they're from?
It turns you into birds.
Do it. Do it.
I want an item now.
I can only imagine what would have happened if Caporius, as Balthasar, would have offered up his blood like as a human, only for him to look more dragonborn as he walks around the corner. So yeah, there's been some genetic splicing going on. But with that, you are all set, I imagine, for returning.
Do I have my entire inventory back?
You have whatever's been given back to you.
Oh yeah, I hand the cloak to Gersha.
And the 222 gold that I know you have.
I don't.
Like,
I don't have that. Sorry.
did you hear the part where he said, I have all the memories of all of it?
And yeah, you've been
Hey, where's
kind of
Strombo
busy in
Longbow?
the last
Yeah, where
hour
was
and a bit.
Strombo when that was happening? I think Strombo was picking up the bow with his buttery fingers.
Also the rings.
That was later. That was when we were discussing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna cut my losses. I'm taking the cloak.
What
Yeah, I didn't bother to put in the inventory all the other stuff that you had because it was a huge list and I heard gold, so I was like, okay. So I only brought the gold.
Wait. Can you confirm for me what you picked up, out of character?
The cloak and the gold.
Did anybody else pick anything else up?
He tried to pick up the bow, arrows, which are countless.
Did anyone other than Gershon pick anything else up?
Nope.
Alright, then Gershon's clothes and the remainder of his inventory are currently lying on the ground floor of the tower, where they fell.
So I have a cloak.
In the true phallic Barbaria.
That's it.
Fashion.
The man's wearing a bad robe. Give him back his money. Go on now.
I don't know if you have pockets in your cloak, but Solgra has your money.
And Zamir looks at Gershon and says, "Are you without clothing?"
Yeah.
And he stands up and he leads you into the side room you were just in. Just Gershon. And Gershon, you get a chance to see what is the most grotesque scene of your entire life as you step back into this room and get to see it. Laid on a steel operating table is what looks like you. Only it's missing limbs and half a face. And there's a huge hole in your chest cavity. Well, not your chest cavity, but the chest cavity of the thing on the table. There are blood splatters on every wall. And the giant Zamir leads you around the table and says, "Pay no heed to the excess, it will be disposed of." And he lifts you into what looks like a cabinet of some sort, but made entirely out of steel. And before you have a chance to protest, he closes the door. And some very uncomfortable prodding and whirring noises later, in about 5 seconds, and the door reopens and a thin layer of mist rolls out from the bottom, and you are now wearing a... God, I don't think there's any way to describe this without actually just using words that your characters don't know. But for your sake, you're wearing what looks like a biomechanical bodysuit. It is jet black and is covered in piping around the neck and shoulders. And this will give you a +1 to your AC. And it doesn't even count as light armor, it counts as clothing.
So,
That's awesome.
I get that, which is good. And I got my cloak, which I wear. So I get a +1 AC from that as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. I now have 20 AC. Thank you and good night. Now please, no more like transformation stuff, please.
That's not transformation. It's kind of, from your perspective, it's kind of like you were sprayed by tiny hoses with some sort of goo that immediately started to solidify. So it is like a skin-tight clothing that you're wearing. So it is actually like a biomechanical suit.
Great.
And you can tell from underneath the robes this is the same apparel that the giants are wearing on their own bodies. As you step out of this cabinet, Zamir tells you and says, "You would do well to find replacement clothing within a day. The genetic makeup of the suit will break down in 24 hours. It must be replaced daily, so if you intend to be away from the sanctum for any length of time, you should likely find alternate clothing." So you got a 24-hour +1 AC boost.
Cool.
In what time though? Forever?
In game time. Not in real life time. So until your next long rest, that will be active. And I feel like that's more than enough time to let you go find clothing or reacquire your clothing from the tower.
Will it still fit?
Yeah, you are about the same size.
Alright,
you
cool.
might have to cut some holes in the back.
Okay, lads. We made a deal with these folk. We need to go see about this fiery type.
And Zamir nods at Caporius as he says this and looks to the rest of the party. I'm sure you will have noticed from your time in Flaverton that there is something of a spatial distortion. Time passes inconsistently within our barrier. Whilst you have been here for the few hours in our sanctum, no more than 10 seconds have passed in Flaverton. You could use this to your advantage if you were to make your way to Fieri. He likely won't expect you until the following day. His influence on the villagers will likely be used to keep you away from the tower. Although, at the time that we began our false mass, would have been the time where all of the villagers are gathered in the old school building, and Fieri's vampire cohorts would have been feasting, giving you some leeway to make your way to the tower unimpeded. This task is up to you to complete however you choose, though I would recommend haste.
Our character, does my transformation sequence also come with a quote-unquote long rest benefit?
Oh.
Yeah, I'll give you the long rest benefit.
I think he's been through enough. Doesn't have to disclose or his money, poor thing.
Well, if only because, like, before you guys leave, you're all gonna have a long rest.
Oh, fantastic.
Like, having spent this amount of time in the Sanctum will count as a long rest. And so everyone's HP and spell slots are recovered.
I have 10 temporary HP and I don't know why.
You won't lose those. In Flaverton and in the Sanctum, the temporary HP will remain, whereas they normally would vanish with a long rest.
Okay.
There is some spatial anomalies going on here that are allowing you to recover your health and mental fortitude in order to cast spells, but the usual things that it would take away from you don't count because you haven't actually slept.
You will also gain, if you don't have it, you will gain plus 10 HP temporary from being my friend.
Yeah.
Everyone
that's
except,
how
well,
I got
Rosger isn't
them.
here. Yeah, all of you today.
I think that's how I got them then.
Yeah.
Zamir stands up as everyone is sort of preparing to depart, and the blue lights of the fireflies return and begin to swirl in a circle around the entire party and Zamir. And the next thing you know, you are in a fairly regular stone chamber, stood with Zamir and yourselves. This chamber looks identical to the one you were just in, only missing any of the furniture and vines and blinking flashy lights. It's, if anything, it's a bit damp and there's some mold. But the light, once the fireflies vanish, appears to be a regular amount of light. Those that have dark vision are seeing just fine, and those of you without dark vision are having just a little bit of a struggle seeing too much in front of you because it is a dark chamber. Although all of you can, with ease, see the spiral stone staircase leading up and out of the undercroft of this church.
Before we leave the building, I want to kind of scuzzle, is that a word? Like shuffle over to Fanny Boss. I'm gonna say, hey Fanny Boss, your backflips are kind of cool. Just in case this is our last, outing as a group, do you wanna sign my diary? And I hand them the book.
I seen it, but also the 3 backflips while saying it. So, yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I'm just like super happy. I'm like,
Aww.
there's been into some breakdancing. It's so brilliant.
Briggy, can you check your DMs as well?
I will.
Also, I'm gonna pass the 100 gold that I found in my pocket. Sure, and say, I assume this is yours.
I'll take it. And I have no idea. Yeah. I'm just gonna take it. I'll send the money. I now have 100 gold. And I cannot edit my characters. Wait, can I? What?
I'm gonna have to screen cap our DMs at some point just to share them.
Okay.
I feel like that one needs to go alongside this. Especially the lines, I'm receiving threats, I'd like to complain. So Zamir stands behind the party and he pulls his hood back up over his head. All of you getting a good look at the plain black robes with the gold trim, and he walks up the spiral staircase, and as the party reaches the ground floor of the church, he stands at the dais and addresses all of you and says, I will remain in this dimension in the church on watch until you return. When you come back, it will only be me. My brothers will remain in our shadow realm. I cannot leave the sacred grounds of this church whilst maintaining the barrier. So from this point forth, I wish all of you good luck and good hunting.
Thank you. We will return.
We're just gonna make our way there as fast as possible.
Did everyone have their temporary HP?
Yes.
By the way. Cool. Is there any things that we need to do? Like any preparation? Now is the time.
I think we go as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Alright, so you guys are sprinting headlong towards the tower, out of the church. You run up the road. You head in the direction of the tower, and Corporeus, as you pass an object on your right, as the entire group sprints out of the church, something appears in the corner of your eye, something that you just can't let go, and for a moment you take a glance as you run, and just on the footpath leading out of the church grounds and onto the road, you spot a painting easel with a painting of the church half finished. As you and the party continue to sprint at full pelt towards the tower.
Or they better not have munched Hubert, Clemens, or Freddy. They were nice. I think they were the painters. Yeah, Hubert.
For whatever reason, you have a much easier time finding your way into the manor grounds of the Count's Tower this time around. You spot the iridescent glow of blue just in the corner of your periphery, each and every one of you, and the more perceptive ones, specifically Solgra, will just catch the small hint of a noise of tiny beating wings and a very quick glimpse of one of Zamir's blue fireflies as you crash through the front gate of the Count's Tower. This time around, different to your entry into what you thought was a side door, you're met with a grand steel entryway. The door already ajar. You can see from outside into the entryway. It looks the exact same as the one you were in before. The columns, the resplendent red carpet leading from entry to wide spiral staircase, the opulent jewels set in the ceiling, the antique wood railing. Everything as you saw it before through these steel doors. Stepping into the tower, Gershaw, you see to your left, scattered in many directions, your belongings.
I inspect them.
Everything seems completely fine and untampered with. The longbow. Something gives you pause when you reach for it. The grip appears to be smeared in a brown substance with
I
speckling
do not touch
all
the
over the
longbow.
edges. Roll inspection for me. Or investigation, I guess. That's what it would be. Oh, there isn't an inspection check anymore, is there? That might be Pathfinder. Investigation it is.
Yep, -1. $15.
And could I have Shreed, could you roll a Arcana check for me?
Yes, sir.
While he's rolling that, you can...
3.
3. You sense there was magic here at one point. There might still be magic now. Gershaw, though, you look at the substance, and it reminds you of the room where you saw another you. It makes you highly uncomfortable, although if you could imagine that if the room was considered safe enough for you to walk into with Zamir in the other realm, that whatever is caked on the grip of this bow is inert, and is likely just disgusting in a physical manner rather than having any long-lasting effects.
Well then, I get my clobber together.
Do you do anything with the bow? Not that I want to railroad you, but do you want to maybe like clean it?
Yeah, I do. I want to clean it in like the way which requires the least amount of contact with it as possible.
Have you got rags or something?
No.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
Can cast like a water spell or something.
Yeah.
Although as we're about to go into combat, I don't know
You
about
have
spell
wings.
slots.
It's gonna help. Right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like sort of bash against the wall a little bit, just to get a bit of tack off.
All right. You bash
Actually-
it against the wall and. Unfortunate for Solgra, Sharid, and Caporius, as you bash it against the nearest column, the substance, whatever it is, kind of shakes loose, and on that first smack against the wall, kind of ricochets and sort of sprays out around you. And now
Alright.
Caporius,
We should have let him go.
Solgra, and Sharid have now got speckles of nasty bits on you. You ever let mud?
yeah.
You ever let mud dry on like trainers and then like hit it against a wall?
Stop talking.
That's kind of been.
I have
hurt.
Ugh.
There are no
I have a
ill
bunch
effects.
of rope. Can I use the rope to like wipe this stuff off?
Yeah, you could do that.
This was my finest suit.
Who you are now?
What?
You're no longer my manager.
Oh, thank God for that. No,
He's
no,
wearing a
but
very fancy suit though, because he's in disguise as Balthazar.
well, no fucking longer am I, because it's all been drooped on.
This hasn't
This
This hasn't affected your disguise, just your clothing.
At the next tavern, you're paying for my next hot bath.
Fair enough.
Good, he's
I,
got now.
I'm gonna start shivering and kind of try and shake off the dirt, and in doing that, I'm gonna shake off the disguise as well. Kind of like just in bits, like make it fall off and return to my.
Like when a dog shakes when they're wet and it all.
Yes,
just,
exactly.
It just shakes and
Exactly.
suddenly like horns.
Oh, hello. It's been too long.
But now the party finds themselves stood in the entranceway inside the tower, the spiral staircase in front of you. You hear no sounds coming from above where you previously heard voices. No one is here to greet you. And it's up to you to decide what you want to do.
Out of character, I have a spell that I cast on M that lasts for 1 hour, but it's only been 10 seconds. Since
Yes, that will
we
have
left.
remained.
Okay, cool.
Space-time anomalies.
Oh yeah.
I wanted
Alright.
them in this week. They're not going to happen all the time, so enjoy the benefits while they last.
Okay, then yeah, I'm good to Leroy, all the way up.
I mean, when you say Leroy, are you actually shouting a battle cry, or are you just gonna go upstairs?
Just calmly walk upstairs.
So it takes nearly 5 minutes to ascend the stairs. As you're walking up the stairs, again, I'm not very creative with my words today, kind of failing, so I'm just going to describe it in a real-world manner. You know the staircase from Mario 64? For like,
Yes.
for a short while, every once in a while, you feel like you're not really making progress despite walking. So you are ascending, but it's much, much slower than it should have been. You've only really gone up 4 floors to like the major chamber of this tower, but it's taken a solid 5 minutes to walk up there. Like something is definitely playing with spatial time and space. It's all fucky. There you go. That's the best I can manage at like 11:30. It's all fucky.
Would it make a difference if I do a triple flip and a butt slam backwards away from the stairs Screaming Yahoo!
You do launch yourself upstairs a bit quicker, but you hit something akin to an invisible wall, and literal stars sort of like fly out from your ass as you smash into it. You get that oof sound effect. So it's impressive for a moment, but flying gives you the same dissociative effect. Like it's
okay.
You're kind of flying as fast as you think you can fly, and yet you're still relative to the party and like below you, moving at the exact same speed.
Oh my god, I'm now imagining Gershaw's little wings as the wings on Mario's hat.
Yeah, yeah. As you reach the top of the staircase, you look upon a wide chamber, wooden floors, red carpet, leading all the way to a raised platform at the end. Something about the layout of this room, possibly a trick of the light or a spatial anomaly, or perhaps even a dungeon master who didn't have time to make a proper map and so recycled one of his old ones with some new textures, reminds you of the throne room of Kerhar. And at the other side, where a throne likely would have been, is a large, slumbering mass of flesh. I mean, I can't make it any more disgusting than I've already made it through, giving you a heads up, but it's goopy. Stood before the goopy mass of disgusting flesh with a giant mouth and many eyes is a well-dressed man with pointy eyebrows and a very particular smile which shows off fangs. He looks down his pointed nose at you and says, "You have made a grave error. My master slumbers no longer, and you are today's main course."
Bon appetit.
Now, considering the time, I would have at this point had you roll for initiative and we do combat, but it's probably going to take more than 20 minutes. So I think this is a good time to end this week's session. However, if any of you have Roll20 loaded up, I do want to show you the map and the massive flesh that you will fight next week. So, first I'm going to change it for the stream so that they're not behind. So, moving to Roll20 on the stream, that is a Sibriex, or what is it? Sorry, it's yeah, Sibriex, that's what they're called. And so that is Count Fieri the Sibriex, and for everyone not on stream, so the party on Roll20, let me just move that player tab.
Oh god.
That is goopy.
What the fuck?
Is that the size?
No, that's I'm filling the screen
thank
there
God.
just for
That's just
you
a
guys to see it.
picture.
Yeah, that is the official art. And as the vampire in front of you tells you that you are to be today's main dish, the Sibriex, known as Fieri, jostles and wobbles and awakens with a hackneyed cough, and it makes eye contact with each of you as it says,
Your Excellence, breakfast in bed. Who shall I dine on first?
and we will begin next week's session with a roll for initiative.
Oh.
Yeah.
And since you've all seen the art, let me just remove it off screen.
You guys are the worst. Actually, the worst.
No!
No. Oh.
Oh.
There's
No!
3 of them?
The frosty tips!
Sorry. But there is Count Fieri, the Sibriex, and his 3 vampire compatriots. And you guys are already... I signed up. We'll redo however you guys want to position yourselves in the room at the top of the staircase next week. And we will start next week with this big ol' boss fight combat encounter. So for those of you that are desperate for some combat, bring your brown pants, because this one's going to be a doozy, as they say.
Yeah, can't wait.
Want to know how I got these scars?
Oh, wait. Let me just get Reaper back.
We live in a society. My society.
Nice.
There you go. There's a freebie. So I guess that'll do it for this week's session of the Ebon Death. Back after our sort of impromptu break because, you know, real life be a thing. But of course, we'll be back next week with another episode starting with a combat encounter to finish off this particular arc, and maybe at the end of it we'll get some more actual campaign plot relating to the risks to push us forward with that one. We are drawing ever closer to Secret Wars as well, which I promised, but we're gonna finish this off first, and then I'll start prepping Secret Wars with everyone, so we can do a cool event for that. And A's not here, unfortunately, but he's had some really cool stuff to do tonight, which means I didn't fix up the outro screen for everybody, so rather than going through everyone's character outro screen, I'll just go through the screen that we have now. So joining us is Caporius, as played by Third Fret Capo. I'm sure the regulars here know who he is, but if you're new here, go check out his channel. He's a cool guy. He plays guitar, amongst other things, including Legos, and... God, you're becoming a variety channel.
No!
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's true.
And also joining us is M, as played by Violin Solo, who did her first stream on the Reddits today. So go check out M's channel so you can be a hipster and like say that you were part of that community before it was cool, when she's all mainstream and shit.
Also on Twitch. But also on Reddit.
Yeah. Get on all the communities. And of course, Shareed, the pain in the ass troublemaker that he is, as played by Cactus Room.
I did nothing wrong today.
He now has more terrifying knowledge to work with in the future. But if you're not familiar with his channel either, he's awesome, cool guy guitar player. Go check out his channel, and he also does a D&D campaign on a Sunday night over on his channel, which I get to play in, and that's also really cool. And it's weird because it means I talk a lot less than I do when I DM, and I'm still not used to that fact. Like, if Bruce could talk for an entire session as a player, he would, because I'm just used to DMing. And we're joined by Fanny Boss, as played by Russell_the Dude, who is also cool guitar guy. There's a lot of cool guitar guy in this group. But go check out his channel. When he do the streams, they do be pretty damn banging. And he happens to play a lot of songs I actually like a lot. I always roll up and I'm like, hey, I know this is cool. And we are joined by Solgra, played by Shlee Fiddy, who does not stream. So, can't follow her. If you are following Shlee, that means you're stalking her, and that's illegal. Don't do that.
I am not a cool guitar guy, unfortunately.
No, you're a cool guy, just not a cool guitar guy. You're a cool kazoo guy. We'll go with that. But if you want more Shlee, then just make sure you're here next Wednesday. No. There you go. For more
That
of
actually
that.
scared me so bad.
Me
too, dude. What the fuck?
Given the final credit in every week's session, we are joined by Gershaw, as played by Guitar of CR, cool guitar guy, who's now red and bird-like.
Hope you like your birthday present. Woo!
Happy birthday, Charles!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Are we really doing this?
Congratulations!
we got you a red Birdman for your birthday present.
It's
Thank
you.
Your birthday present to you is you. And of course, I am your Dungeon Master, Geeks Codex, otherwise known as Briggy, or any other name that people have called me. I have also referred to Oi Idiot before. Shlee can attest to that. Shout whatever you want at me. I'm sure I'll respond. If you've enjoyed any of tonight, please come back next week and check us out on the YouTubes as well. Give us the likes on that, well, likes and subscribes and whatever, because I'm going to be throwing the episodes over there, and we might stream over there as well in the future. And come back for more Ebon Death and maybe some one-shots in the future, because there's also an alien RPG, so I can stop throwing sci-fi into my fantasy world and actually have a world for sci-fi, rather than being a weird mishmash. But anyway, on that note, that's the end of the stream. I'm going to play the credits, and we'll probably do a raid. So until next week, have a good one, folks, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And fairy dust where we lay our scene, our hero lusts after a dragon-esque queen. He's neither vegan nor vegetarian. The people call him the phallic barbarian. And while his great powers cannot be ignored, well, they're not contingent on his ability to, brandish his sword. And so he embarks on the most thrilling quest to solve quite a big problem, it must be confessed. But that's not all as it seems. In fact, it's beyond his wildest dreams. He expects to be met with a cure for his dick, but lo and behold, he finds out it's a trick. In the mountains, our hero is far from lonely. In fact, he's crossed paths with the one and only Love Guru. The Love Guru possesses a mystical power to have our hero fighting fit within the hour.
There's probably a joke with a penis right there.
And so our hero continues on his way, returns to his homeland merry and gay. He returns to his parents after they've been away, and they confess they thought that they'd never see the day where their son, who has certainly has been around, finally finds love and settles down. The news of their union resounds through the town. Here's him in his suit and her in her gown. In fairy dust where we lay our scene, our hero is married his dragon-esque queen, and the whole world is certain now and when we're glad our barbarian is phallic again. And fairy dust where we lay our scene, our hero lusts after a dragon-esque queen. He's neither vegan nor vegetarian. The